Yeah, inviting and going the other way. Yeah.
Yes.
Have you been able to walk her at all since our lesson?
Yep. So I walked her yesterday.
Yeah.
Actually, I had a couple notes. So she did pretty good.
Okay.
Took a little bit, so normally her excitement, we go throw the ball, and I
Okay.
tried to start with a walk.
Okay.
I think she was just so riled up.
Yeah.
But normally that's playtime, so I wanted to be fair to her, So we ran the ball for a little bit. Then I went in and we started walking. She did pretty good. I had some questions on, again, just like how far forward, like head. I'm almost like I referenced her nose, like I was keeping her head was probably right about here, so like mid body, I think. And but then her only issue, my thing, I couldn't remember how to correct on the turns where she would get, where I'd be like kind of almost walking over her. But she did really good. Like I said, most of this training is for me. And I said I remembered your stuff about trying to be fair to her. I kept. I mean, we did about 20 minutes. I think a question was on, like, naturally I do verbal and the correction, but as far as what I remember, it was mostly just.
And you're going to give a little pop.
Oh,
And next time she goes to pull, give a little pop.
Get a little pop. Yep.
But you're saying a correction simultaneous with your leash pop?
Well, that's normally my thing, but I didn't know if that's bad, if it's gonna.
Little pop. Good.
So see, I said hey at the same, because that's just my normal go-to is the verbal correction. Here, sorry, I wrote a couple notes down just to make sure. Sorry, here.
Do you mind just throwing this on your pocket clip really quick?
Yeah, not a problem.
I tried to have an angle, but just in case.
Yeah, no problem. And here we go.
One of the things it mentions is both of us being able to be heard, so I just want to make sure I pick that up. Because all these questions are perfect, so yeah.
Awesome, cool, perfect, good. I'm glad they're helpful. So here, I wrote down. So bright points. I helped break her attention a couple times, kind of like when she was either focused on somebody else or something. I did it best to like walk and kind of break that. And then I did the just off, not exactly related to this, but feeding. I wasn't releasing her to go feed.
I was
just putting it down and walking away, and it worked great.
There wasn't a trigger. She's calmer.
It wasn't a trigger. Yep, it was literally almost like as I went around the corner and got behind the fridge. Like as I got out of sight, you could just hear her start feeding.
Perfect. Okay.
And then, just my questions. Like the left turns on, like where I'm, if I'm like almost stepping on her or something. And then
left turns, and it was saying something while correcting.
Those were the two. A little bit of both. Well, so normally, like I said, if I'm correcting, if she's walking out a little bit in front, which she did, it took her a little while to settle down, but for the most part, there wasn't too much once she got in the groove.
Yeah.
And then, there wasn't much correction needed. A little bit. Yeah.
Perfect.
I tried to make sure. I probably naturally get a little shorter on the leash, and so I tried a couple times just to make sure I wasn't getting too short.
Yep.
As I was, giving a little bit of slack there.
Yeah.
And then let's see, walk in. It was real good. So it's when I turn left when I'm almost stepping on her, right? And she's not noticing that I'm going left. I couldn't remember how to correct and how to be fair.
Yes.
So I didn't really do anything because I also didn't want to be
unfair.
Yes. Yep. So I couldn't remember what that correction is. As I'm walking left and pretty much I'm either stepping on her or needing to like walk her, push her out of the way a little bit. So
okay.
I think that was. Oh, sorry.
So no, perfect. That was it though?
I think so.
Just start. If they come up as we go.
I started trying to take notes so to come back with some questions.
Perfect. And, Did you have a chance to read the folder?
No, I didn't.
Okay, that's all right. It's no problem. That's all just for your benefit, just general dog stuff, right?
Here, real quick, can I put on my sweatshirt?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Here.
I can hold on to her really quick.
Oh, and I did a couple times where
Hi, girly.
Where if she was in a weird spot like this, where I walked around to get on her.
Yes.
Get on her
repositioning,
side. So it sounds silly. I was telling a customer today, but I was like, most of this is just training for me. I was like.
Training for you.
It's mostly training for me.
Yeah.
I was like, the being fair to her made so much sense because I'm sure there's plenty of times I've been erratic. But then you think about other people with dogs, you're like, oh yeah, man, there's people that are just.
Well, especially
they don't try to be, but they're.
Well, and the main thing too is how people do step out of anger or frustration or after the fact.
Yeah.
Those are all really big ones. But Because nobody would intentionally, you know, be abusive.
Yep.
You know, and so it's just a matter of understanding, learning how to talk in their language, right?
And then
I'll go and hand this back to you.
One random or another just random question is like normally like if we're sitting in the car and driving, you know, she's riding shotgun with me, which that's always good with me.
Okay.
But then affection during, you know, like didn't want to send like confusing signals or not. Like, is it okay to just pet her? Like she wasn't freaking out about it.
Yeah,
It was
while
just,
she's in the passenger
it was just
seat?
normal driving, and I just scratch her belly, and then she'll put her paw up on me or something.
Okay.
And,
yeah, so the whole point is affection in that moment's not wrong inherently, right?
Yeah.
But if she's, for example, if she's riding shotgun,
Yep.
and I can reach over, share calm affection, she just stays totally calm.
Yep.
Do it as long as you want.
Yeah.
Like you decide when praise begins.
Yep.
You decide when it ends.
Yep.
But if I go to share affection, she's like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna try to hop in between you and the steering wheel now," and it incites all this excitement, right?
Yeah.
That's I'm like, okay, off. Try to show her.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna set the boundary because that affection was too much stimulation for her brain, and it's about safe driving in that moment.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
So it really kind of depends on how the dog responds.
Yeah, most of the time it was pretty calm. I couldn't remember some of the things, like if on the affection side, like when it would be potentially confusing to her. But yeah, if we're just chilling and I'm just kind of petting her,
just calm, respectful mindset. And you can actually, from what I've seen with her, this last lesson and then this one today, you can see she actually does a really good job of not becoming too excitable when you share affection. I have some dogs where they're like perfectly calm at my side, like no body pressure, just the most subtlest, most calm, and they're like, well, and it's too much.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
So there's moments
Like
where
almost
just
like an overstimulation or
just,
something.
and especially if the human, like the owner, for example, all they did was create excitement and share affection. That's what touch represents.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to like undo that conditioning.
Yeah.
So it can take a lot of work there, but she does really good. Like you can even rile her up and give a little bit more, and she doesn't spin up too much.
For sure.
Where some dogs, a little goes a long ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, but your two questions for in the left turn.
Yep.
As a reminder, with the leash in my hands, excess in my right.
Yep.
Pinky towards the dog.
Yep.
Arms are relaxed. How this latch, the leash is going straight down my leg. It should, like there's an imaginary pinch collar there.
Yep.
So that's where her collar is.
Okay.
And so her face, is right about there. So whenever you're unsure, it's just that little glance down.
So
and
I could look more at the angle of the leash as opposed to trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out like where her nose is, I guess.
Exactly.
But if I'm seeing the leash look like it's angling forward.
Yes, the leash is going to be your most obvious point right now.
Totally, that makes sense.
So you see the leash, and with consistency, you'll get used to where the head placements used to be.
Yep.
Or supposed to be.
Yeah.
But this is going to be like the most obvious difference, right?
Yeah.
Because this is correct.
Yep.
That is wrong.
Yep.
Right?
Totally makes
sense.
sense.
And so when she's in position, she won't be bumping your leg.
Okay.
Right?
Got it.
But if she is too far ahead and it's angled, right?
Yeah.
As I'm starting my turn, if she starts to bump my leg or be too far in front, you're just going to gently pop straight back and walk through her.
Okay, so still, okay.
Yeah, so fundamentally, you're walking through her, owning your space. You're literally saying, get out of my way, or I'm going to run you over.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But if we just stepped into them and they went out, so I'm sorry, if we just stepped into them with no leash correction, no direction from us, oftentimes they just go out, and you can even have them where they like spin out and their butt comes out to face you.
Okay.
Right? They're like, oh, and then they're trying to get out of your way, right? But I want them to stay in this pocket.
Yep.
So as I'm walking, I give a little tap giving direction and gently walk through them to own my space.
Can do that, let's say, before I step on, like, should I do that, I'm going to say it's practicing, like, preemptively, or is it only if she's...
Only if she's wrong.
So that's the hard part. It didn't feel like she was too far forward, but and maybe I was turning too sharp, I guess, and we can play around with it here.
Yeah, so we'll start off with NASCAR,
Yeah. So anyway, I just could do it. So just a pop back is
just a light pop straight back.
Yep.
And so one thing to keep in mind too, and then go and relax your line.
Yeah.
So even there, I want you to start to get in the habit where you should never feel tension in the line.
Yeah.
So even though she's like right at your side, it's fine. It was still tight right there. She's not wrong.
Yeah.
Instead of popping it,
she's
just
still
give
right
her the
here.
slack.
Yep. Totally.
Just like if she went to lay down and there's tension, I give her the slack.
Yep.
Right?
That makes sense. Okay.
So, but as for your other question, correcting while saying something, I want you to view it this way. Your command is not a correction. So if you
Okay.
say off, leave it, no,
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
A dog will never comply to avoid
Yeah.
your command.
Okay.
They'll comply to avoid the correction they know they'll get if they don't comply to the command.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's the correction done correctly. If you do it clearly, so
Yeah,
it's black
clearly,
and white, they
yep.
understand. That's what gives your commands power.
Okay. Let's call it the action that I'm doing. Correction, action, yeah.
Yeah, so for example, if she was, and this, we'll get into this with the down,
Yeah.
but say there's a rock on the ground
Yeah.
and she doesn't, I don't want her picking it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I would use like off, leave it, drop it, whatever. I would incorporate a word
Yep.
and stick with it,
Yep.
whichever one you want. But if she goes for it, I see her interested in it. I'm like off, she goes to do it anyway. I pop to disagree.
Got it.
She leaves it alone.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
The next rock comes along. She looks at it, I go off, and she leaves it alone. No correction at all.
Yeah.
But she's not complying because your voice, your command corrected her.
Yeah.
She's complying to avoid the correction she knows she would get if she doesn't comply.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's what that's all commands.
Yeah.
Right? Your here commands, down commands.
Mm-hmm.
Why there's no command in the walk is because this is always the expectation on leash.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Because even when you look at like cop dogs, competition dogs, Schutzhund dogs,
Yeah.
when they're out in the field and they're like locked in, one that's training and drive,
Yeah.
it's high energy, very focused, and those are for short sessions. Your dogs, you'll wear your dog out mentally before you will physically.
Yeah.
And so those dogs with that kind of focus, why they're waiting and why they're so pinned in on them,
Yeah.
right? Is because the toy is going to come at any time.
Got it. Yeah.
That's why they're locked in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And so one, that's in high drive, so we want a calm state of mind, migration mode walking, right?
Yep.
But if we were going to do like our service dogs, for example, they go out all day with their dogs.
Yeah.
If we had a formal here, their dog would be toast by noon.
Got it.
They would have no energy.
Okay.
Because of the mental stimulation that requires.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So this is migration mode walking, and this is the structure everywhere we go.
Yep.
When you see the Schutzhund dogs or the cop dogs, they do that formal heel for 15 minutes in the field, and then most of the time, pretty much all the time, they leave that field, the dog's pulling, they're doing whatever, going back to the car because they're building drive. It's a totally different style of training.
Okay. Yeah.
It's still leadership and all that,
Yeah.
but that's training and drive. Everything's go, 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 focus, high energy.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is living with a dog.
Yeah. 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 For sure.
When you look at like a pack of wolves, for example, because 98% of her mitochondrial GNA is genetically gray wolf.
Okay.
So we think of tracing back to like the pack animal, the wolf pack,
Yep.
even wild dogs,
Yep.
seeing how they react.
Yeah.
You know, their language, their body language, how they interact with each other, their state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really gives you an idea of how they actually coexist and live with each other in their natural state.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why like in some obedience you see like agility dogs or treat-based, toy-based training.
Yep.
Everything is go, go, go. It's training and drive.
Yep.
And it looks really cool and it's sharp and all that.
Yeah.
But then it comes actually living with the dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And coexisting with the dog.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is actually like living, having respect in your boundaries, calm, respectful mindset,
Yeah.
all that.
Sounds silly, but as you said that, I was like, oh, duh, right? We're not training for other drive or other modes mentally. It's just
But some people don't know how to train without it.
Oh, yeah.
It's very common
until you
in
said
the
that,
industry.
I was like, oh, that now it clicks. Yeah.
And it absolutely has its place, but
Yeah.
it's one thing of living with the dog. What's your goal, right?
Yeah,
What's the
yeah, yeah.
final goal? What's the purpose of the exercise?
Yep.
Right. So does that make sense in terms of commands and corrections and
Yes,
things like that?
yeah.
Okay. And those are your only two, right? Currently?
Only two currently. Yeah.
Okay. So how I want to start this then is we're going to go and we'll start doing a couple laps of NASCAR.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go over some of the basics of how I'm going to start the fundamentals of down.
Okay.
And I even brought a little blanket out for her.
Thank you.
Because even though we've been blessed with a dry day, I still want to make sure that we're being fair because she does that short black hair coat.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure we're fair to her.
Awesome.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So whenever you're ready, go and start some NASCAR.
Come on.
And even there's no need for a come on.
Oh, okay. I thought it was inviting when we change what we're doing.
So the whole point of talking to the dog, right?
Yeah.
Is for a specific purpose.
Yep.
So if my dog is looking away from me, because on leash the expectation is to always follow.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. So if she's looking at me I don't have to say anything. I start to move, the expectation's to follow. The only time I'll say something before I start to move is if she's not looking at me.
Oh, okay. So she was looking, she was aware of what I was doing, so no need. But if she was locked in on a
Yeah,
bird
say
or
she's looking that way, I'm like, come on,
Yep.
and we're going this way.
Yep.
And if she doesn't pay attention, then she's gonna get self-corrected because
Yep.
we're going anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense with the leash having it straight down. That's a good
Good point of reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even
And
there,
see,
see in your left, because her positioning was good, she was nowhere near your
totally.
leg.
Oh, absolutely. And so yeah, I was probably letting her, it was close. I mean, it's only a few inches, but it makes a difference.
It adds up, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. You can go and pat her on the side of the face right there.
Oh, good girl.
Good. Ain't even there. So one thing I do out of habit when I have the leash with my dog. So if that stop and sit was beautiful, right?
Yep.
Super guidable. And when I go to share affection, I grab near the line with my right hand.
Okay.
So it frees up this hand to pet the side of her face, but I still have an appropriate amount of line.
Okay, yeah.
So for example, in that moment, you went to pet, and so then you had this big loop from her collar,
Yep.
like this big loop coming up. So then when she broke sit, which you didn't say sit, so it's not, it's fine.
Yeah.
But if you did want her to sit, you'd have to do that, like
Yeah,
to
yep.
gently pull up and have her sit.
Yeah.
Right. So
As opposed to if I had my other hand, if I switched hands, that makes
exactly.
sense.
And so the whole point too is like with a 6-foot leash, it's just because we have 6 feet doesn't mean we always want to give them 6 feet.
Yep.
So the amount of line we give them is the amount of room they can make a mistake in certain instances. So say for example, we're sitting and sharing affection here, it's nice. I drop my line, there's a loop, dog comes around the corner and it keys, she goes, so she has that much room to make a mistake versus if I was here, she goes to fixate, I could easily just pull up and block that.
Yep,
Does that make sense?
No, that totally makes sense.
So it's just keeping that in mind in certain instances.
Yeah.
But all in all, that's looking really good. It's just the consistent moments.
Honestly, even the left turns there was way in better. Those were clean. Where
It was
yesterday
clean,
she was probably just a little bit further forward, and I, tripping on her as I was going.
That's keeping in mind in certain distractions as well. Higher energy environments going on.
Yeah.
That's where she's gonna be more prone to forge and make those mistakes.
Yeah.
Right. Obedience under distraction.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that all making sense so far in the walk?
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to work next. So starting the down.
Yeah.
I'll switch her over to my leash too, just because I'm picky.
Yeah.
But for the fundamentals of down, the finished product is going to be when you say down, she downs on command. Okay. She doesn't sniff, don't crawl, don't whine, don't bark, lay there till I release you.
Okay.
That's not what today's going to look like.
Yeah.
Okay? It's man-made obedience. So we have to lay a foundation, show them what we're wanting, building on it, and then we start to bring formality.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you how to start it today. Then I'm going to have you do it as well.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you homework to work on before you leave.
Okay.
And then if we can schedule one more lesson, I'm going to show you how to make it formal.
Yeah.
Okay?
Awesome.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her in. Hi, sweetie. So I'm going to switch on over to this guy.
Thank you.
Okay. So from here, up. So there, like I mentioned, squatting down.
Yeah.
Earlier, it was fine. I let it be.
Yeah.
This time, because she came all the way up
She
and
came
like
up a little bit
gently
higher.
off.
Yep.
And here it's like, if she'll stay here, off, while I'm squatting down. If she'll stay here after me showing her, I'll stay squatted and share affection.
Yeah.
But if it's just too much, that's when I'm going to stand up and disengage and then correct off if she continues. Okay. But if you want, hi girl. So we're going to go in, I'm going to scoot on over here. And you're welcome to come right over with me.
Yeah.
So the whole point of starting the down, let her sniff the blanket and everything. So the blanket, like I mentioned, is just to be nice.
Yeah.
Because even though it's dry, it's still a little cold out.
Yeah.
Right? It's 52 degrees.
Yeah.
And so with this, the blanket is to be nice.
Okay.
When you're in your home practicing this, I want you to try to do it in different locations, but because you're in a warm house, there's no need for a blanket.
Got it. Makes sense.
The blanket is to be nice and to be fair.
Yep.
But if I always use the blanket or a mat or whatever,
it's always the same spot or something.
They become conditioned where the down or the mat is a part of the down command.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a mat, you don't have a down.
Yep.
And so this is to be nice, but we're going to teach her that down is everywhere as long as it's a fair place to put her.
Yep.
Okay. So how this is going to start is I'm going to invite her over, And then I'm going to, and here it's the same concept. So if she's pulling, I'm going to give a little pop, like we worked on. But when, little pop, good. So when she comes in, how I'm going to start this is I'm going to do a loop of line here. I'm going to put the ball of my foot under the leash. And I'm going to make gentle pressure. So I'm going to lift my toe, pull out the slack with my left hand. But I'm going to pull just enough where she feels slight downward pressure. I just want her to feel it. Okay. And so this is where I'm gonna give her time to process it and figure it out. When dogs experience stress, they go into avoidance, submission, fight, and flight. And down is a position of submission. Okay. So when I go to down her, she can't really avoid it. She might try to. I highly anticipate she won't. But I've had dogs where they're super friendly. You go to start down, now they want to bite your foot. Right? So the stress comes, conflict comes, now they want to bite my foot. When otherwise we were friends. Right? And so, but they can't avoid it. They can't go into flight. The main difference between flight and avoidance is like wanting to walk away from it and get away. Flight is like panic, bolt, gone. Right? Can't do either of those. I want her to process it, figure it out, and just lay down. And when her belly touches the ground, no tension at all on the leash. So she learns how to take the pressure off. Okay. When I first go to make a little bit of tension, I'm gonna give her time to process it. As a general rule, I'm gonna give like 30 to 45 seconds, depending on the dog, to process it and figure it out. And if they're just kind of standing still, or after like 30 seconds, or they even dip their head to take the slack off. So here, off. So I'm gonna show her off. And if she jumps again, I'm gonna pop out to the side to correct. But from here, do you think she has to potty by any chance?
There's a chance she might,
Okay, so I'm gonna go through this general instruction stuff really quick. Does she potty on leash okay?
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm gonna go over this and then we'll give her a chance to potty really quick. And then.
Sorry about that,
That's all right. We'll give her a chance to potty there.
Yeah.
And even when you're practicing this at home, make sure that she's been pottied and everything. So we're
that
fair.
She's not distracted with needing to go.
Well, exactly. We want to be fair. And so, but the whole point, if I go to make tension after like 30 seconds, she's just standing still, or she dips her head to take the tension off. I'm gonna lift my toe, and I'm gonna take up more. Right. So I lift. I lift my toe and I pull to take up more. And I'm gonna gradually go down and down and down until she starts to lay down.
Okay. So you're just putting a little bit of, like, just slight, gradual pressure, hoping she gets.
Starting to figure it out. And as she's processing and time goes on, I'm gonna gradually add more and more till the belly touches the ground. And then all the tension comes off.
Verbal? When are you saying?
I'm gonna say down as soon as I start to put my toe on the ground.
The first time. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
So is that making sense?
Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna go and pause here for just a moment, and then if you want to go and give her.
Like how long to let because it's cold first thing in the morning. Like, I'm like, let's get back inside. I'm at an apartment. They don't like what fair versus
like how long to give them a chance to potty.
And she's like sniffing around and just kind of exploring. I don't know what's a good rule of thumb to not be a total prick.
No, I get it. So the whole point right there. So we noticed initially 1 minute in she pottied, right? And then the rest of the time it was only a couple minutes, but she was just sniffing and being busy, right? So the first thing I'd probably do, if it's a shorter instance like that, she peed once, that might have all been she needed. So when I come back in, I would either crate her or keep her on leash with me. So the whole point is, like, if that was all her business, she should be fine. But if you came back in and she still needs to go, you can catch it in the moment. Or if she's in a crate, instinctually, as long as they're not from like a puppy mill and like learn to live in their own filth, instinctually they don't want to go where they eat or sleep. So when they're in a properly fitted crate, they're gonna whine and let you know and all that. And it's like, okay, that's unusual. Let's give you another chance to potty. But it both gives you opportunities to block it or even disagree, so she's not pottying in the house.
Got it.
And then, does that make sense?
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So just reiterating it one more time, further down. So I'll borrow the leash really quick. I'm bringing her on. Hey, Lily. Hi. Hello. So from here, as I mentioned, so I'm gonna loop the line. Give it plenty of slack so I can put my toe under it. So then in a moment, I'll have my toe lifted and I'm gonna pull up with my left. So I get just enough to make tension. And if I need to rotate the pinch slightly.
That's what I was trying to make sure I did that when I was walking her that it's in the
Yeah, exactly.
facing
So
the right direction.
yeah, rotate, and I'll remove that link for you too, so it's a little bit more properly fitted.
Yeah.
Hey, so with when I go to step on the line, it's just enough for her to feel it. I'm gonna give her like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and if she's just standing still or dips her head to take the slack out, I'm gonna take more tension out.
Yep.
And I keep gradually going over time. Okay. But it's really important that we don't go too fast.
Okay.
Because it's one thing to protest and try to get around and figure it out. It's another thing to be in a panic because they're pinned.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I say like 30, 45 seconds, like especially doing this at home, actually count that out.
Yeah.
Because I've had lessons too where it's like 30, 45 seconds. It's like 3 seconds. They're like tension, 3 seconds, tension. Then the dog starts to get overwhelmed. Like, okay, take the line off. Because a dog in a panic can't think.
Yeah.
And so if we're
sorry, going back.
That's right.
That was I'm gonna say one of the problems she had when she was a puppy, or one of the problems I had leading or directing, like telling her to go to a bed or go place. Like I'm sure it was me being too fast or too much, but it was almost like she'll come anywhere. But when I was trying to like instruct, like pushing where to go, or because this would be like I could almost see the same thing, going too fast or rushing too quick.
On the whole thing, are you like pointing or trying to push?
Yeah.
There's no direction in it.
Yeah.
You know, so if anything, I would have went over to the bed and invited them to me to show them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I'm going to go and invite her over. And do you have any questions on this?
No.
Okay, I'm going to go and get started then. Lily. Hi. Okay. Off. So I direct it around, put it on the bottom side, clear the line around her foot. And so from here, a little loop in the line on the ground, just put my toe on it. And now I'm going to lift my toe and pull just enough for her to start to feel it. She noticed it. Mouth in the line, a little bit of protest. She's figuring it out. I'm not worried about that right now because the purpose of this exercise is I just want her to feel it.
Yep.
I'm going to clear it over her flat collar a little bit. But I want her to feel it and just lay down. So her whining, moving around, sitting, like I'm not worried about all that. It's just a part of the process. Okay? So see, it's like she feels it, she's concerned, now, like a little bit of protest, now she's just kind of sitting, processing it. I'm gonna lift my toe, take up a little bit more. Down. Same thing, let her process it and feel it. Down. Moving around, trying to figure it out, relax. Is biting the line a little bit. So the whole point is like she's processing and figuring it out, right? And it's really important here that I'm not like reactive.
Yeah.
Right? She moves, I'm not taking up anymore. My body is calm. I'm not moving my feet. I'm just giving her time to process. And the first time we do this is generally the longest time.
Yeah.
I've had dogs where I'm stepping on the line. I'm at the point where I'm like almost down to the very end of the leash. And it's a mental battle at that point because down's a position of submission, right?
Yeah.
And so I've had dogs where they're not reacting, they're just stoic, but they're just waiting. And like their head's down because the tension's out of line, right? And it's just waiting, mental battle.
Yeah.
And then they'll finally go, and then tension comes off. And at that point, when she does lay down, I'm gonna give her like 5-10 seconds because the point of today is to just feel it and lay down. It's not about stay down right now.
Yeah.
And so when she lays down, I want to end on success and I want to release on my terms.
Yep.
So to have that success and help her succeed, because today is all about just laying down, after like 5 seconds, I'm going to release her in calm affection.
Yep.
And then as I do this in repetition, it all comes quicker,
Yeah.
because they're understanding what we're doing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So even here, we're going to take up a little bit more. Down. And it's really important too, like even if she dipped her head for a moment, I wouldn't just immediately take out all that slack. Because if it's a drastic difference, then all of a sudden she picks it up and it's way shorter. So remember, even when we were being a pole, and then you started to reel it in and move your feet, it needs to be a consistent boundary, right? So it's like she got corrected, but now the boundary went from here, now it's back here. And so it's being consistent each time and helping her along. Okay, so letting time go by. So obviously more concerned with the blanket, right? She's gonna play with that. I'm gonna take up a little bit more. Remember the blankets to be nice. If she downs on the asphalt, it's like I did my best to try to be nice.
Yeah.
And even this, I don't care about this right now because the purpose of the exercise, I want her to feel it
Yep.
And process and figure it out. Down. Down. Okay. Goes down. No tension in the line. I lift my toe, so if there's any tension, it'll release. Break. Lily, break. All right. So she doesn't know what break means, right?
Yep.
But she knows Lily.
Yep.
So I said break, no response. Then it's
Yep.
like Lily, she looked. Then I moved to give her direction to get up and move.
Okay, yep.
Okay. And so calm affection here.
Yep. We got her tail wag in. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And notice too, it was calmer coming, like a little bit of excitement coming in, but because my praise was calm and my demeanor was calm.
That's something I need to learn. I don't purposely get amped up with praise, but I can be more I can be more calm when I give praise.
Yeah, and it's all about balance, right? There's gonna be places like you've seen where I'm more animated to bring more out.
Yep.
There's times I'm totally calm.
Yeah.
And so from here, I'm just gonna make a tiny little loop, little tap straight back, because now we're walking. On leash is the expectation. Yep. Let's walk strong there. So here, walk on the blanket again. Come to a stop. I'll even share calm praise there for a moment. Now I'm gonna go and reposition the pinch again. I'm gonna start over. Same thing, loop the line, ball of my foot on the line, gently lift up, down, just enough for her to feel it. That's that same thing, giving her time to process it, let her observe. She could move around again, she could do all that.
You can tell she's thinking about it.
Right now she doesn't really care about it, she's more concerned with what's going on over here.
Yeah.
Right? Let's give him more time. Then there's a little Malinois puppy that's in training over there. It's making its way over.
And so was it about 30 seconds in between each?
On average. That's like my blanket instruction,
Yeah.
especially for when you're at home.
In my mind, I was thinking, of course, I know you said the first time's always longer, but I was thinking 30 seconds for the whole top to bottom, but it seemed like it was like each increment.
Oh yeah, each increment. Yes, thank you for clarifying. So the whole point here is like, she's felt it. It's been at least 30 seconds. We'll find out on the camera, I guess.
Yeah.
But here I'm gonna go lift my toe, take up a little bit more. Down. And so with each instance too, so down is gonna be my word, or whatever word you want.
I like down.
Okay. So with down, I add a little bit more, right? And so with each instance, every 30 seconds or so, especially when I go to take up more tension, I'm going to repeat down.
Yep.
And so she's going to start to associate the word with the command.
Yep.
And so then...
And your words being very calm when you're doing it too, right? Not frustrated.
Yeah, everything in my tone is calm and matter of fact. So even here, I don't know if it's been 30 seconds, but she's obviously more concerned with other things, right? So I'm just going to take up a little bit more. Down. And so here, she... Like I said, the 30 seconds between how much I take up more, that's like blanket instruction for at home.
No. I'm glad I understand what you're saying. Like I said, I was thinking it was for the whole.
Oh yeah.
To get her all the way.
Yeah, that'd be very fast and be too fast for the dog.
Yep.
But even here, just waiting it out, and then, like I said, add another 30 seconds, and I'll go and add more. And so, a lot of this, like I said, it's just a process, laying the foundation, because at the end, I want her to start to just feel it. As soon as you step on the line, she starts to lay down.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's going to start to understand what that tension means, how to turn it off, and how to just be, and how to avoid pressure. Okay. So then I'll give homework on how to build on this and at home.
Yep.
Okay. And then after about 1 to 2 weeks, depending on how heavily you practice this, we'll schedule another lesson, and then I'm going to show you how to make it formal.
Okay.
Okay. Because this is like introductory, showing her what we want.
Yeah.
But by stepping on the line, when she gets used to this, the whole point of a correction, right, is to comply, to avoid it. They respect it, they understand it, they don't want another correction.
Yep.
You can see she's not real super concerned with just tension.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they set into the line. Like they get used to it, it doesn't bother them.
Yep.
So this is to show.
Yeah.
Once they start to understand though, I'm going to start to incorporate a pop correction. So now that her belly's on the ground, I lift my toe. No tension at all. Give it a few seconds. I'm going to take my foot off the line. Break. Come on. All right, come on. There you go. So even there, go and just invite. So the invitation to get removed to pop up. Keep it in mind. Break is just the finish of the command. It does not mean pop to your feet. So you would never pull her up out of a down.
Got it.
Okay? So when you go to release, so I stay still. Everything I do when I say a command becomes a part of a command with my body language. Okay? And so I don't want to be like, break, you know?
Got it. Yeah.
So
it sounds like that's what I did with food and getting out of the car at the park. That was always my.
And the whole point to it, right? So there might be moments, because if I go break and I move, right, this movement all becomes a part of the release. And then there could be a moment where I'm like, down, I want you to stay here. And I go to walk away and they just pop up to follow.
Got it.
Because that movement, me stepping away, is a part of the release. And so here I want to build on where it's like nothing, arms relaxed on my side, stand straight up, break. They don't get up because they don't know this is all new. Now I invite, I'm like break, and I invite and show. So they start to, I give direction and show them what break is. But it doesn't mean pop to your feet. I would never pull them up out. So if I even said break, nothing. Break, still nothing. Now I'm like, okay, let's go. And we start to walk. So by me walking, the expectation is to follow. So me walking away and her following and getting a self-correction for not getting up, she'll understand that and follow, versus me standing still and just pulling on the line. When I stop moving, there is no expectation to follow. Because she's here. That makes sense? And so building on that with each instance. And so from here, I'm going to go ahead and have you do it.
Okay.
Do you have any questions on this so far?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. What are you doing? Heard a sound she's not sure about. So I'm going to go ahead and hand this to you. It's the same thing. If you go ahead and step over to the blanket, you just walk onto it, and if she goes to sniff it, it's fine. Good. Ian right there. Go ahead and just pet her for a moment. Off. So gently show her. Off. Perfect. And so you've already said off. You've already showed her. If she jumped up again, I'd want you to pop out to the side and correct her off. Okay, but here going, just clear the line. Nice little loop. Follow your foot under the line. Good.
Down.
And go ahead and lift your toe.
Is that enough?
Go ahead and take up a little bit more. So you lift your toe. Just like that, you pull the line.
Down.
Good, and then we'll hold it. Yeah, right there is good to start. We'll let her feel it out. Notice how much quicker the second one was versus the first? As she's starting to figure it out, she goes.
And he didn't even take all the length out, you know.
It was a lot less as well, right? So the idea, when they start to have a solid understanding of this, it's like down, right when they see the stepping on the line, they just lay down. Right? But like I mentioned, that's showing, that's giving direction. In our next lesson, we're going to make it formal. So with the homework, if all the homework is done correctly, she will have the proper foundation to start to make it formal. Right? And I've had clients, though, where they don't do the homework, and then they're still doing this at their next lesson. Because there's no substitute for time and repetition.
Oh, totally.
And so,
it's like anything practice. Okay,
exactly.
Do the next one.
Yeah, sure. Go and lift your toe. Go and take up a little bit more.
Down.
And so the whole point is, like, if the owner doesn't take the time and do that homework and build the foundation and lay it for them, it's unfair of me to ask more of what they're capable of giving me. Does that make sense? And so I'll go over the homework stuff by the end of the lesson, but then we'll build on that, and then we'll work on it when you come in again. You're here, go and lift your toe and take up a little bit more. Down. Good, and then just lift your toe. If there's any tension, it will release, just like that. And so go ahead and step on the line again. Good, and go ahead and tell her down. So right there, she got up on her own, right? Okay. And so go and just hold it for a moment. She's scratching, and if she lays down, let's continue to wait. Belly's on the ground. No, we'll just keep waiting. There you go. Belly on the ground. You would lift your toe, make sure there's no tension. Now go ahead and step on it again. Make up tension. So as a prime example,
Down.
right, where we want short windows to release.
Yeah.
But she's breaking sooner than we can release, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
go ahead and take up more tension.
Down.
Go ahead and take up more.
Down.
Go ahead and take up more.
Down.
Just being busy with the dog here on the ground. Okay, now lift your toe, no tension. She complied. Now go ahead and tell her break and invite her
Break.
up and move. Good. All right, so that's a prime example why the purpose of the exercise right now is just put your belly on the ground, not about staying down right now.
Yep.
But in that moment, she stayed down for a very short instance and popped right back up.
I'm glad she did it because I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. Yeah.
But she didn't release on our terms, right?
Yeah.
So right back to stepping on the line.
Yep.
She complied. We had our nice moment where she stayed there,
Yep.
released on our terms. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And so from here, let's go and do a lap with her.
Yep.
Right to structure at your side, and then have you come in. I'll
Hot girl
fix
walk,
this.
I think is what they call these.
The what? I'm sorry?
Hot girl walk, I think is what they call these.
The hot girl walk.
Oh, it's a total, just a social media thing.
Oh,
Pretty much, people getting fresh air during the day, they just call them hot girl walks.
I see. I have not heard that one yet.
It's stupid.
Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and loop the line. We're going to drop the line excess. There you go. So you can step on it with your toe, just like that. Go ahead and slight tension. Good. And then we wait. Go ahead and say down.
I said it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Didn't know if you heard me. I don't know if she's used the blanket once.
Yeah, she seems to work her way off of it, which is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Then go ahead and lift your toe and take up a little bit more.
Down. I was only trying to take about that much.
Yeah, it's just a couple inches at a time. Down. Like every 30 seconds or so, we're going to be repeating down.
Oh, even when down.
Yeah, even if you haven't made it a change in tension, it's still just intermittently, like every 30 seconds or so, just so they're starting to get used to the association of that word.
Nope, that's good. I don't know if it makes any difference. We use that word anyway, and most of the time she does pretty good with it, but as you see, sometimes she does a slow protest with
Well, and the whole point too is this is going to be the finished product is going to be a formal down.
Down.
So it's one thing if a dog just settles or you say like go to your bed, right? That's just lay out. They can get up, they can sniff, they can have a bone, they can do whatever.
Yeah.
Down, like I said, is formal. They have to lay down, otherwise correction will come.
Yeah.
And the finished products, don't sniff, don't crawl, don't whine, don't bark, lay there till I release you.
Yeah.
And so, and if they break any of those things, we correct.
Correct. Yep.
And why we block all those behaviors is it forces the brain to settle. The constant sniffing, whining, crawling, all that keeps the brain busy.
Yeah.
And so by disagreeing with those behaviors and blocking it, we're forcing the brain to settle to where they can just be. She's already pretty calm in terms of most dogs. But you have dogs that are just, whether it's spinning and chasing their tail, constant whining.
Yeah.
Good, and then, go ahead and tell her down. Down.
Down.
Go ahead and relax the line slightly. Go ahead and step, so keep your toe on it.
Yep. Sorry, it slipped out.
Go ahead and step on it.
Come on.
So bring her all the way back in and step on it. Go ahead and take up more. There's no tension right now.
Okay.
So the whole point, right, she started to get a little bit of protest and started to be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give a little bit of line.
No, I was trying. It's.
I get it slipping out. And if you, in moments too, if you need to slightly angle your foot as she's moving to help it. But the whole point, so for example, if every time she did that whine and you purposefully let it go, she would learn that that worked. Right now she needs to learn that the only thing that'll work, there we go, good. You can go ahead and try it. Relax the line. Relax the line. Right there, hold it. Good, now we're gonna wait. So the whole point, she started to protest last time, and then it worked for her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And so the whole point, when we went to reset, she started to protest a little bit, making it tighter on herself than we were even planning on it.
Yep.
So even here, go ahead and keep your feet together so she can't get her head in between your legs again. Good. And then relax the line if there's any tension. Now go ahead and release her.
Come on.
All right, so we're going to say break next time when you go to release.
Break, yep.
But so, for example, right, she started to protest, and whether it was unintentional or not, how she perceived it as it worked.
Yeah. Oh, you
So
see, she tried the second. You're saying about how she tried the second time?
Yeah, so the second time she made it tighter on herself even.
Yeah.
But then she started to get frustrated with that same protest and started to get overwhelmed again. So we relaxed the line a little bit, but it's not, her protesting like that is not going to take the pressure off.
Yeah.
So you saw how we relaxed it a little bit, but it didn't take the pressure off.
Yep.
And then she complied.
Yep.
So she learned the only thing that's going to work is putting the belly on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay? So even here, let's go and do a little short lap with her.
Okay.
And we're going to come back around. And we're going to down her again. Good. Go ahead and give her a little tap back if that line's not straight down your leg. And calmly walk on. Good. And same thing, go and loop the line so you can put your toe under it. Yeah. Start to make tension. Go and tell her down. Good.
Down. Is that enough?
Yeah, for right now.
Yeah.
And even here too, if you see that she's like just looking in, trying to lock eyes with you, I'd disengage.
I was about to ask what,
So she's in your peripheral, but just down. So by disengaging with her, it's gonna help her to disengage and just lay down.
Yep.
Okay?
That makes sense.
I'm going to swing around here.
Down.
Down. Good. Go ahead and tell her down again.
Down.
We're gonna wait. Good. And then there's no tension in the line. Perfect. We're just gonna wait like 5 seconds. And then don't move your body. Just say break and then invite and walk. Good. And start to walk. Come on.
Break.
There you go. And go ahead and clear the line around her leg. And now go ahead and share some calm affection there. Good. Okay. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going to do the same thing.
No,
time and repetition, right? So we're going to do another mini lap. Good.
Down.
Good. Just slight tension and then we wait. Go ahead and stay down and take up a little bit more.
Down.
Good. See how quick that was?
About to ask you, where are you going? Oh, wait.
Give it like 5 seconds again. I think it was a bird moving and caught her attention. Now go ahead and tell her break and go ahead and start to walk.
Are we, because she's doing better with it, were we shortening we're not doing 30 seconds? Seemed like we were going faster.
I had you go a little bit faster there because she felt it, she thought about it, but then she was looking at other things over here. And so she wasn't processing, trying to figure it out, anything like that. She couldn't care, or she didn't care about it and was concerned with something else. So I just take up a little bit more.
Oh, okay. So it's only necessarily need to wait if it looks like she's
if she's processing it, figuring it out.
Yep.
And so that's why like my blanket instruction when I'm not looking at it is like 30 seconds because it's always when in doubt I want to give the dog more time. But doing this for a living, you know, and seeing it firsthand, I know when to gradually bring more.
Totally know it.
But that's why.
Thank you for the explanation.
Of course.
It looks like she's thinking, okay, there. I'll trust you on when to go next.
Yeah, so it's just waiting for a moment, and then here in like a few seconds, we'll go and take up a little bit more.
Down.
Then we'll just wait. Go ahead and say down and take up a little bit more.
Down.
Good. Okay, and then lift the toes. So there's no tension in the line. Good. Now we're gonna go ahead and give it a few more seconds. You're gonna go ahead and say break, and then walk, and then once she's up and moving, go and stop and share some calm affection there. Good, just calm praise. Remember to gather the line with your right hand so you don't have that big loop.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Little walk?
Yeah, let's go and do one more little mini lap.
Yeah.
And we'll
So
come in and do it one more time. And while we're doing that,
okay.
I'll give like the instruction for like the homework.
Yeah.
The goals I want you to work towards.
I was about to ask about the like inside still needing to like walk around, you know, still needing to do we still need to kind of break and
Yeah, just breaking it up, breaking it apart a little
Yeah.
bit. Because the whole point is I don't want to. I'll let you get
Down.
situated. Good. And right there, I don't even think she felt tension. She saw the picture of what you're doing and chose to comply. So even there, we'll just wait a moment. But for the whole process, like breaking up, just even like a little lap, just to get them moving.
Just something to get the brain.
Yeah, because when I release and get them moving, I just want to reapproach and come back in. But when I release and get them moving, or I'm sorry, if I release and get them up to off their belly and they're standing, and I go to pet and I immediately stand and like go to down again, I could see it starting to translate where she's hesitant to even get up. It's like you're just gonna down me again. So it's like sharing calm affection. Go and stand on the line. Down.
Down.
Good. And then she's laying down, so no tension. Good. And from here, go ahead and release her, and then we'll walk for a moment.
Break.
Good. So the whole point here is like we release, and it's just another thing. Calm affection, redirect to the next moment, and then we reapproach. But I don't want to just like up and down in the same spot.
That makes total sense. I can see how that. Yeah, you're just gonna tell me to get back down again.
Yeah. And so here, let's go and do the same thing. We'll do another loop, and we'll come in down. And we'll have this be our last one. We'll release, and then I'll go over some like the goals for homework stuff.
Down. Almost felt like it's getting too close. I didn't want to.
No, that's smart, because even though there's all that slack, as soon as she picks her head up, she could hit it.
Yep.
So, and it could be overwhelming, right? So it's that proper amount. So when she picks her head up, she feels the tension. Okay. Down.
Down.
Good, right? Laying down on command. So here we'll give another few seconds. Release, give her a little bit more animated praise, like that's what I want, right? And then I'll go over the homework stuff. Whenever you're ready.
Break.
Good. Go ahead and share some affection there for a moment.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
So, for homework stuff, right? So we saw how we're building on how quickly she's starting to get the idea of it, right?
Yeah.
And so now that she's starting to understand, and like I said, when you start to step on it and she just lays down immediately, right? That's when we're going to start to build on distance and duration.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. And so, can I borrow your leash since that one's on there? Your spare one? Use my imaginary dog.
Yeah.
Okay? So, in that situation, right? I go in, I down the dog, step on the line, they lay down, no tension. So, now that's all going really well. They're not waiting at all. They just lay down.
Yep.
Now I'm going to build on distance and duration. So, when they're laying down, even in that moment we saw, right, after like a minute, she went to break command and sniff, right? So I just stepped back on the line, she stopped sniffing, tension comes off. So building on. Say I'm a foot away from her.
Mm-hmm.
Say I'm a now go shoot for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Of her just laying here. I release. I come back in.
Mm-hmm.
2 minutes. Well, she didn't get up. Try to go for 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay.
Right. She lays there the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I release. Move on. And so if she's not getting up and she's standing there that whole time, let's say after like 15 minutes of me standing this far away, about a foot, after like 15 minutes, she lays there the whole time. I'm gonna do this. No tension in the line on the dog.
Yep.
Down. I step another foot away.
Okay.
Right? She's probably gonna pop right back up.
Yep.
So I go back to tension, down. She lays back down.
Mm-hmm.
Right when she settles, or I'm gonna pause and let her settle for a moment, but I'm not gonna wait a couple minutes again. Give her like 10 seconds. She's settled. Down. Back to 2 feet.
Okay.
And if she does it again,
And
you
so
step on.
staying down as I'm sliding further out, as I'm getting distance.
Yes, and the whole point too, and just keep in mind if she goes to pull, give her a little pop. There's no expectation right now of down or whatever, but I still want her to respect the end of the line. So when I go to build out, when I step on it, she's just learning this is the expectation.
Yep.
Now when I step out and we correct, she's learned that's the expectation even with you foot away.
Yep.
Or 2 feet away,
2
right?
feet, yep.
And then you build on, maybe go 3 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if it's a controlled environment, like a fenced area, living room, whatever, not uncontrolled environment like this, you could even go out to 6 feet, down, still not making a mistake, down. I even drop the line and step away from her.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the whole point when I go in to step on it and disagree, she's just learning. Down is still the expectation, even though you're this far away. Okay. So, and then let's say if we're 6 feet away for 15 minutes, now I want to start to build on it like 6 feet away for like 30 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. So if you practice it like twice a day, every day, we can probably work this in a week.
Okay.
If you don't think that's feasible, let's plan for 2 weeks.
No, it's doing it at home is easy.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, probably best at homework, but I think didn't get my walk in today because we were doing this, but yesterday right away we, worked the walk in and.
Perfect. And so
I'm good right here. She's there. She's engaged with something.
So just relax the line slightly so there's no tension, and then leave it. If she goes to immediately set back in, pop.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Nope, that makes sense.
For in this moment, so building on it at home, the final goal, in there, she can sniff and roam around, just relax the line. All right, that's your leash. But building on it, so the goal is we want it 30 minutes long, staying down, 6 feet away.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to build up to.
Yep.
Got it.
That's the homework. So building on it each month. If you have any questions on anything, call me.
Yeah.
And I'll help over the phone and stuff.
Yeah.
But once we're there, that's when I can I'll show you how to progress it, start to make it formal.
Okay. And again, so when I get to, as I'm pretending, as I'm going, 4 feet makes sense, right? Maybe even 5 or something out here. First time as I work my way up to getting out to the length of the leash, do I just drop it on the ground?
If it's a controlled environment. I wouldn't drop the leash here, right?
Yeah.
But the whole point is, and you don't have to have your...
I'm thinking most of it, or half it'll be at the park where it's usually, actually, even though it's open, it's pretty controlled, not too many. It's at Glenwood Church where there's people, but...
Is it fully fenced?
No.
Then I wouldn't drop the line there.
Okay, got it.
Because we don't have a reliable recall.
Got it.
Off leash.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So fully fenced or indoors, something like that.
Yeah.
But for that situation, you don't have to have your foot hovering over each thing. So you can here because it's easy.
Yeah.
As long as there's no tension.
Yeah.
Okay. But if I go and now I'm at this point where it's like there's tension in my hand, I can take my foot off.
Yeah.
Right? It's like down. And if she breaks command, I just immediately go in and step on it.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Got it. Yep.
So I can get out all the way to 6 feet.
Got
she
it.
breaks command.
I was thinking like having to do the foot, like what gymnastics are we gonna do?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, just in your hand.
Because we're doing duration first, so working up time duration here, and then we work doing the same thing, just working further out.
Yes.
Correct. Yep.
Yep. And so with that instance, so getting out to like 6 feet.
Mhm.
If it's a controlled environment, like your living room, for
Yeah.
example, you could have it, if you want to, say it's going really well.
Yeah.
You want to try to go more than 6 feet.
Yep.
If you say you're like this far, if she were to break command,
Mhm.
you say nothing. Calmly go in, grab the line, and go right in and step on it.
Okay.
Okay? I'm not saying down as I go in.
Yeah.
I'm not going in like harsh or hectic, right? I'm just calmly, matter of fact, grab the line, go in,
Yep.
down. Just like if I'm here, she
Yeah.
breaks command. Say nothing, calmly go in, step on it,
Got it.
down.
Yep.
Okay? So building on it's the final product, right?
Yeah.
When we start to make it formal, we're gonna stand straight up, say down.
Mhm.
If she doesn't down, I'm gonna then go down and pop down and away.
Okay.
This is
Yep.
what we're gonna do in our next lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm gonna pop, and then I'll help her if she needs direction further
Mhm.
from there. But the idea is now we're actually bringing in a correction
Yep.
to where she's gonna down on command to avoid the correction.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then if she's in the down, now it's formal, she's already in the down.
Mhm.
If she breaks command, correction comes first.
Yep.
Just like how you say nothing, correction comes first, stepping on the line, then reiterating the command and the expectation.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if you have it to where a formal down, where they're downing on command
Yep.
and they break command, if you just grab the line and say down, no, and don't correct, and they lay back down, they will get up whenever they want.
Because there's no correction there.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
remember, dogs will never comply to avoid your
Yeah.
command. They'll comply to avoid the correction they know they'll get.
Yep.
So if she breaks command and you just say down and she downs and completely avoids correction, over time she'll just get up whenever she wants.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it.
That makes
right?
sense.
So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Do you have any questions for me?
I don't think so, man.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. So we can go ahead. We're probably good here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the
Cool.
book and we can look at scheduling something. And now that she's back in the car, we can practice the thresholds.
Yeah. Sorry, my car's a mess.
Oh, it's all good. No problem at all.
Okay. Okay, so remember you saying with the threshold. Here, I'll just shut the door so that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Open it up.
Yeah, so as soon as you go to open it, as soon as there's a crack, I just be like back. And if she tried to bust her face, like squeeze through it,
Yeah.
like little tap,
Okay.
and then shut it, be like back.
Okay. Yep.
But the whole point is I want her waiting with it all the way open.
Okay.
And as it opens, I probably need to step into that opening to own the space.
Okay, got it. Yeah,
And
that
then
makes
if she were
sense.
to come forward, pop it like I'd pop in the chest
Yep.
back. Now that we already have the leash and pinch on, when we're holding the leash, I'd have my arm up, and even when I step out of the way, like if this is the opening,
Yeah.
I'm like back. And if she were to try to jump with me backing out,
Yeah.
I'm like back as I move,
Yeah.
like back. And if I move, she tries to go, I'm gonna give a little pop.
Give a pop so she'll feel
back.
the leash. Yep.
Yep,
Okay.
to set a boundary. So now I want it to where I'm waiting,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just easy. And she
Got
comes out
it.
nice and
Okay.
slow.
Yep.
So
Okay.
You want to try it?
Hey.
Back.
Hey. Back. Back. Sniffing around. Is that? It looked like she was.
She just come forward a little bit, but even as you open it, how she's not trying to come out.
Yeah.
Back. Good. Now I'd step in closer, go and grab the leash and pinch. And now, like I mentioned, you're gonna hold it with your arm like that. Even there, go and tell her back, but take us like go and start to stand sideways. Back. And make sure the line's relaxed. Good. Now, whenever you're ready, go and say easy and let her come on out.
Easy.
Good. Nice. And then from here, I'd step around to where she's right at your side. And now it's right to structure on the leash.
Yep.
Okay. So now we'll go into a couple laps of NASCAR. Let's critique anything I see. And then we're going to head over into the building where it's warm. Okay, go and pop. Yep. Go and pop straight back. I'd pop harder. And remember, it's a rotation in your shoulder.
Oh, yeah, instead of my
not
wrist.
in your wrist.
Yep.
Okay, go and shorten your line about an inch. Okay. Now go and pop straight back. Good. I want you to pop a little harder. Good. Good, because the whole point of a correction, right, is that we want her to feel it, and I want to redirect the brain.
Yeah.
So I want it to be a strong enough correction that she respects it, understands it, and doesn't want another.
That makes sense.
If she's out coasting ahead and I pop, and it was like a dinging phaser and she's still out ahead, I need to give a strong enough
Yeah.
correction that she respects.
No, that makes sense.
Good.
Walk her through the puddle.
And if she goes to sniff again, like next time she goes to dip her head, give a little pop straight up.
Okay.
Okay, going pop straight back.
Thanks for the help on the wrist versus shoulder.
Oh, of course. Right there, it's like she went to dip, corrected, and then moved on. Good. So go and pop straight back. Good. And I pop a little harder next time.
Yep.
And if she goes
afterwards
and if she goes to lick, go and pop that as well. You're gonna pop straight up if she goes to lick the ground.
Sniffing okay, just when she's going to lick puddles?
I would correct the sniffing as well.
Okay.
It's all about the brain. She is mentally disengaging from you.
Yeah.
To sniff and check out other things.
And we want her to be on.
And pop. Good. Good timing there. Yeah, I want her actively paying attention and checking in with you. And like licking the water is not, it's not a huge deal, but it's about etiquette on leash. It may not always be water.
No, I kind of forget about the purpose. Like, hey, no, we want her engaged in what we're doing.
Yeah.
Even though like I'm feeling casual on the walk, right?
Yeah, that's why I call it a purposeful walk.
Yeah.
Good going. And continue to walk strong. Good.
What was that?
I was just saying, continue to walk strong. Like how she was starting to slow down.
Yeah.
Don't slow down.
Oh yeah, good point.
We'll go and we'll finish this lap and then we'll head on in. Good. Good. That normal walking picture. And so here, when she dips down to sniff, I give a little pop straight up.
Yep.
And then there she's too far ahead. So a little tap straight back. And I don't have to give as strong of a correction with her because I represent something different. She has more relationship with you, right?
Yeah.
And so in this instance, I pop up. So notice too, I popped the first time. She didn't care. She kept sniffing.
Yep.
So I popped a little bit harder immediately. Yep. So even here, when she goes to rubberneck and look back, I'm going to walk strong because she has to follow. But even here, like if she's crowding ahead, that's where I'm giving her that little tap straight back. Because what I'm noticing is like she'll be too far ahead and you give like a little pop and it's like she barely cares.
Yeah.
Right? So when we're walking, it's recognizing when it was an effective correction. Because here if I go to walk, now I'm waiting for her to make a mistake now.
Yeah.
Okay, like right there. She was a little too far ahead. I popped, but you saw she immediately dropped back and looked at me.
Yep.
That was an effective correction.
Yeah.
Hey. Good. Okay. So I want you to go ahead and do that really quick.
Yeah.
Because obedience is great when there's nothing going on, but we want to learn how to handle and be effective with distraction. Because if we don't have obedience under distraction, we don't have real obedience.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, let's go and just do one more little loop again.
I was losing her in my sight for a second.
That's all right. Do you notice the difference in the mindset? How actively she's checking in and paying attention with you?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
What we want.
Absolutely. Well, I've noticed that like when we've done our hot girl walks or whatever, I've noticed that, and sometimes she'll be in, but I didn't know to make I didn't know how to. I'm not gonna say force that, but to try to keep her looking, you know, actively engaged.
I don't expect her to lock in like permanently.
Yeah.
But I want her actively checking.
Yeah, checking in. Yeah.
And so the whole point is looking at when, if I'm unsure, like she's walking
Good
my
girl.
pace, but she's not checking in very much, or I'm unsure if she is, I'll even slowly start to slow my pace, but try to not be obvious about it.
Yeah.
And then if she's not checking in, she'll end up coasting out,
She'll keep,
and then I pop straight back.
Yep, for sure.
Or I'll even start a left turn early.
Yeah.
So as I'm walking, it's like, are you checking in? I'm gonna start my left. If she's not, she's gonna crowd me, and then I'm gonna correct back.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. Okay. So from here, we'll go and we'll utilize this space down here. I want you to go and just start your down command, just like you've been practicing at home.
Okay. Down.
Okay, so I'm not the surprise or the sniffing is not a surprise. You know, different environment, different blankets, different dogs have been on here. So
Down.
I'm not surprised. We'll just continue to wait. Good. Down.
Down. Oop.
And at home, I imagine she's been like settling right away because
Yeah,
it's her environment. Yeah.
Hey, down. Down.
And then go and relax the line. Down.
I'll say it one more time at the end.
When I go to step off the line, or especially if I go to step away, I want a reminder, to be fair, like down, this isn't an invitation.
Got it. Okay, got it. I haven't been doing that portion of it.
Down.
Down.
Good. And the sniffing, all that, I'm going to show you in this lesson how to fix all that. How we can start to disagree with it.
Yeah.
And then, so are you able to get 6 feet away at home?
We haven't gotten, or that has been a much shorter attention span.
Okay.
I haven't done, I mean, I haven't been putting in the hours that I need to be either on it, so.
Okay.
You want me to try to step back?
If you want to, go and just say down and take another step back.
Down.
Down. Good. Okay. Because what we're going to start to do is, with stepping on the line, right, we teach her what the tension means and how to turn it off, right?
Yeah.
So she lays down, but we see the brain is still busy, right?
Yeah.
Sniffing all this new stuff. She might whine. She might fixate on something, right? So now we're going to start to bring formality to it.
Okay.
Because the whole point of a correction is meant to be a strong enough correction that they respect and know one another, right? A lot of times if we let her, she'll just pull into the pinch like she doesn't care, right?
Yeah.
So stepping on the line, that self-correction, that tension, isn't a super strong correction for them to respect and want to avoid it, right? But it's necessary when we're teaching this.
Yeah.
Now that she's starting to have some understanding, we can start to bring an actual boundary that she's going to respect.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So is it all right if I borrow her for a moment?
Yeah, absolutely.
From here, go and just tell her break.
Break.
Good. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and borrow the leash really quick.
Yep.
All right. Very sweet. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to stand straight up now and say down. And so if she doesn't down, which very likely she won't, see the picture, I'm going to give a light pop down and away.
Okay.
To disagree. And I'm going to stay still, repeat the command, down. She doesn't down, I add a little bit more.
Okay.
And if, just by assessing her, if I need to give her help, then I'll return to the foundation and step on the line to show her.
Okay, got it.
There's actually a foot pop technique that you can do as well, but it is very surprising how the amount of coordination that it takes. I did not realize it until I started trying to teach people, and it's amazing. So, hey, Bo. Come on. So I'm just redirecting her there.
Yeah, getting her
she's
mind.
She's not wrong, off leash, loose line.
Yep.
But I still just want to interrupt the moment.
Yeah.
So here, down, 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 down. So, a couple notes right there, right? So told her down. Me, she hasn't seen me in a while. It's been a couple weeks, and she's just used to someone stepping on the line, right?
Yeah.
So obviously I don't expect her down on command, right? So that little pop, but I stay there because the whole point when I go to disagree, my body language needs to be assertive,
Okay.
and I win in that moment. So if I were to immediately correct and back out and take that body pressure off,
Got it.
it's
Okay.
unclear.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Right? So I want to hold that moment. It's the same thing if she were to jump up, right?
Mhm.
She jumps up, I correct to disagree, off.
Yeah.
And I stay there and hold it, and I'm reading her expression. Did she respect that
Yeah.
boundary, or does she not care?
Mhm.
And so in this moment, when I go to correct for down, I hold it and reiterate the command.
Mhm.
But if she doesn't down, I'm going to correct a little bit harder the next time.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so even here, down. So once she lays down and settles, down. Good. So once she lays down and settles, that's when I stand back up.
Got it.
And then even here, down as I step away. Now that she's under command, the expectation is to stay down.
Yep.
Right? So if she got up there, she was already wrong.
Mhm.
Because down, the expectation's already been set.
Yeah.
So that's why correction came first.
Okay. Got
and
it.
then I said down.
Got
but
it.
if she was just loose, right, like she was
Yeah.
a moment ago, I have to set the expectation first with
Yes.
the command,
Yep.
right? So now that she's already in the command, she's already wrong if she gets up.
Yep.
And so we're going to do this in pieces. So right now, the expectation, the purpose of this exercise, is I want her to, as we build on this, down on command and stay down until I release her.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be concerned with the sniffing or the whining right now unless it becomes excessive.
Mhm.
And if she's just perfectly downing on command and won't get up, but she's sniffing, then I'll start to disagree with that.
Okay.
But if I try to ask the final product now when we're kind of part way through,
Mhm.
if I tried to get her for everything and she's making all those mistakes, it could be too much for her to understand
Yep.
and become overwhelming. Down. Right? Notice how calm my tone is as well.
Yep.
If she breaks command, she's already wrong. I just slide down the line. I don't go grab at the base of the collar.
Yep. I saw that.
So here, I just slide down, even with the slow sniff, down. She didn't care about that one, but she did stop sniffing,
Mhm.
down. And
And
so
it's seeing you're holding your body position there
every
to
time I
to
go
make sure
correct,
that she's she's seeing you and understanding what you're doing, and that and then slowly you're.
well, the point is like my body language is assertive,
Yep.
but my tone and my energy, everything is still calm.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like, down.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's just calm, matter of fact.
Mhm.
And so, but by keeping all this really calm, that's what's going to help her succeed. I can't be hectic. I can't be reactive.
Yep.
And so, how quickly this is coming together for her is really good. And so, as we're building on this, in a moment I'll let her up. I'm going to down her one more time.
Mhm.
But some of the really important parts is keeping everything calm. When I say down initially, I still stand straight up. Arms
Mhm.
relaxed, down.
Yeah.
She doesn't down. That's when I slide down and correct. I stay
Yep.
there, down. Let's say she lays down,
Mhm.
settles, like count 2 seconds, 1, 2, down, as I stand back up.
I'm gonna need to remember that on the as I'm walking away.
Yeah, so keep in mind, like, in the down, because this isn't competition, in my opinion, saying down as a reminder, there's nothing wrong with it. You're
Yeah.
helping them succeed,
Yeah.
right? Where in competition, sometimes you get like 3 commands.
Oh, okay.
That's
Got
it.
it. Got it.
So, but that's not to be confused with, when I say down initially, I'm not going to say down 5 times before I correct.
Yeah.
I said it once, down. I know she heard it,
Yep.
down. So corrected for sniffing there.
Mhm.
Because she's actually doing a good job of staying there,
Yeah.
I'm going to push it a little bit.
Yeah.
and
No.
start to
I've gotcha.
disagree
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But if, say she was struggling just to stay down,
Mhm.
I wouldn't bother with that. I'd just ask her down
Yeah.
to help her succeed.
Yeah.
Right? But like I was saying before, when there's no expectation, she's just loose. I say down first. As long as I know she heard it, I just say it once. Down. She's busy doing something else. Then I correct.
Yeah.
But now that she's in the command, it's just a reminder.
Yeah.
So when I move down, it's just a reminder.
That-
So if she does break command, I know I did everything I could in my power.
Yeah.
To be
You're as fair as as fair as
Exactly, right?
possible. Yeah.
Whereas if I downed her and she downed on command, 30 minutes go by, and then I go to like move and grab my drink or something, she
Yeah.
pops up. Yeah, she
That
should
makes-
have the
yeah.
capability to remember.
Mhm.
But I personally don't see the harm because this isn't a competition. Be
Yeah.
like, down. It's been a while.
That makes, because she has trouble sometimes when I was moving and I forgot I wasn't doing the part of adding in the extra down while, as a reminder. I guess I wasn't thinking, I was thinking more like, let's call it legalistically or something.
And also, don't get me wrong though, if it's been 5 minutes and you just moved a little bit and she popped up or just got up on her own, I would still correct that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But it's the whole point of just doing our due diligence to go above and beyond to be fair and remind.
Yeah.
But if it's been 5 minutes and she just gets up and starts wandering around, I'm still going to correct that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I'm going to let that go because I didn't remind her 2 minutes and 37 seconds ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's just keeping that in mind. It's a balance to it. And you'll start to notice when she's pushing the boundaries and when it was a genuine mistake, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So I'm going to go and let her up, down. I'm going to step in close. I stand straight up, arms are relaxed, break. She didn't get up. I just start to walk. She gets up to follow. Here's where I could share calm affection. Off. So even there, when I'm sharing affection with her, I want her attention on me.
Okay.
So she doesn't have to be fixated and locked in, but I don't want her busy with something else.
Sniffing, yeah.
Yeah, and so the whole point, now when I disengage, I stop petting, she can do whatever, because I haven't set an expectation.
Yeah.
So right now the rule is respect the line, the end of the line, and respect my space.
Yeah.
Right? But when I'm sharing affection with her and she goes to disengage and do something else, that's where I tap to disagree, because as the leader, I want her attention when I'm addressing her.
Yeah,
Does that
okay,
make sense?
yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go and bring her around, I'm going to do it one more time. Come on. So same thing, I just come to a stop. Hey, I'll do a left here. Yeah. So when I come to a stop, I stand straight up, down. Kind of cool, huh? Down. So she's down on command, right?
Yeah.
Which is great. It tells me she clicks, it's understanding. But that's a prime example where she has to be able to succeed.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So in that moment, there was no expectation. Down. She's sniffing my boot, so I went to correct there. But on leash with me, right? There's no expectation except respect my space, respect the end of the line. When I come to a stop, I said down. Now I set the expectation. I gave her enough time to hear it, make a decision if she was going to comply or not.
Yep.
She chose to comply, so she down on command.
Yeah.
She completely avoided correction.
Yeah.
So that's how, with consistency and appropriate corrections, you'll find yourself very rarely ever having to correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, but it goes to show the correction's not, or I'm sorry, your command is not a correction. The physical follow-up when they don't comply to it, right?
Yeah.
So they'll never comply to your command unless there's a physical boundary to disagree.
Yep.
Right? So same thing with breaking command. Now that she's in the down, if she were to get up, like I said, correction comes first. Because if she broke command and I said down and she laid down and I didn't correct at all, right?
No, that totally, yeah.
She'll get up whenever she wants. She'll just down when you down her.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
No, totally.
Okay.
I love it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Do you have any questions on this so far?
No, this is great.
Okay. So I'm going to go and release her. Then I'm going to hand her off to you. I'm going to have you do it. Okay. Down. So I remind her down as I come back in. Like I said, I still, whether I said it or not, I still expect her to do it. Not correct if she broke.
Yeah.
But I'm just doing that to go above and beyond to remind and set the expectation.
Yeah.
Okay. Even here. Down. So I corrected first, down. So when she got up to sniff, or I'm sorry, to scratch, I corrected disagree. But in that moment, because she's learning, I'm going to let her finish that scratch.
Yep.
If she laid down like she did, I leave it be. But
Yep.
if she stayed up in the sit, I would immediately correct it.
Yep.
Again.
Totally. That made
Down.
sense what you were doing.
But it's that same thing, right? Down, as I return, down. I stand straight up, arms relaxed on my side, because everything I do when I say a command becomes a part of a command, right? So I don't want to incorporate like any kind of movement when I say it, because that'll become a part of it, and they'll start to break early in anticipation.
Yeah.
Okay. Break. I just start to walk, and even there, I can share calm affection at my side. Good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hand her to you. Good. And even here, yeah, if you just want to go and loop her around back here on this gray blanket.
Yep.
And if she's lagging all, it's where you're like, come on, but you're just walking purposely either way.
Come on. Here, I'm gonna try this again.
Okay.
another hot lap.
Yeah, in that left turn, right? If she's crowding your leg. So the reason why she's getting all the way in front of you is because you're letting her get too far.
Okay.
So when you're walking, you're starting that turn. If she's crowding, tap her back and own the space.
Got it. Yeah, I was letting her. Okay.
All right. So yeah, even here, go and come in, make a wide left turn.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And even right there, go ahead and stop. Okay. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and down.
Down.
Okay, and then relax the line as she goes down, so there's no tension.
Mm-hmm.
Now if she continues
Down.
to sniff, go ahead and give a little pop down and away.
Down.
Pop again, harder. Down.
Down.
All right, so that's a prime example. She was sniffing. Correct again. Down.
Down.
Down. Now go ahead and calmly stand up. Say down.
Down.
Down. Good. So as a prime example, right? We went to sniff. You corrected, and it was like nothing changed.
Yeah,
You
she
just
kept.
sniffing
Yep.
as if you did nothing, right?
Mhm.
We didn't redirect the brain there.
Yeah.
So I needed to immediately give a stronger correction that she was.
I don't know what it is. For some reason, having like
No. She's not wrong. I just see her looking at you.
Yeah. No, she was.
So I'm reminding her.
Mm-hmm.
Down.
Down.
What you were saying?
Oh, trying to remind myself. I'm like focused on the action as opposed to redirecting the brain. I've seen the redirecting the brain work a ton of times. You know, now that you brought it up to me, but I forget that's what we're trying to do. Is sometimes
That's
break,
the goal,
break.
right?
Yeah.
And you notice I haven't had to correct this hard, but because she doesn't know me,
Mm-hmm.
so every time I've gone to set a boundary or disagree, I've won.
Yeah.
So she doesn't test me as
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's in those instances with you in this learning curve,
Mm-hmm.
she's learned she can get away a little
Yep.
bit more if she pushes through.
Absolutely.
And so it's being non-negotiable. These
Yeah.
are non-negotiable boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Good. Okay, and even here, go ahead and say down and step
Down.
all the way up to 6 feet. Down.
Down.
Good. And then just make sure you don't look her in the eye.
Yep. I forgot. Yeah. For a second.
So, because the whole point, right, is you see how she's staring at you.
Mm-hmm.
If you lock eyes, you're having a conversation, and she'll very likely try to break command and go to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to help her succeed here by saying down, reiterating the expectation, and then I disengage. I look
Yep.
over the top of the dog, I look to the side,
Yeah.
keep her in my peripheral.
Yeah.
And if she broke command, I'd say nothing, calmly go in,
Mm-hmm.
correct, and then say down.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things I keep in mind, building on this, right, now that we're making it formal,
Mm-hmm.
when we correct, and so now what we're gonna build on is the expectation, is when I say down, it's lay down, don't sniff, don't crawl, don't whine, don't bark, lay there till I release you,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So this is an excellent tool for calming the brain, because that's why we disagree with all those behaviors.
Mhm.
Because all those behaviors stimulate the brain, keep it busy.
Yep.
So by bringing this kind of formality, we're forcing the brain to settle.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of moments where, in her natural state, she's pretty calm as a general rule.
Yeah.
So it's not like you always have to down her, like for whatever reason,
Mhm.
right? But it's an excellent tool to bring absolute structure to calm the brain and have control.
Yeah.
So for example, like when guests come over,
Yeah. For sure.
if she's all excitable because she's
Mhm.
probably used to greeting them at the door,
Yep.
we recommend not creating an event there,
Yeah.
right? We want everything to be calm, submissive state when she's receiving affection.
Mm-hmm.
And so by making the doorway a non-event, it starts to take away that trigger in the brain,
Yeah.
so you don't have that explosive excitement,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So in those moments, I'd be like, if you know people are coming over, I'd already have leash and pinch on, and you're already with the dog, have the
Okay.
door unlocked, or if you have someone else in your home that can open the door for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey, they're here, she's already in a down. Hey, knock, knock. Hey,
Yeah.
come on in. Just ignore Lily, she's in a down.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
talk to her or touch her right now.
Got it. Okay.
Right.
Yep.
She's probably gonna make a mistake and get up.
Mhm.
Right? So you'd say nothing, calmly go in and correct, stay there, correct again if need be, but I want her to lay back down and settle.
Mhm.
And so the whole point is, down is still the expectation even though they're here.
Yeah. Yep.
And you're gonna be fighting probably a trigger of excitement that's been created.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? So From there, I would have her down for 20, 30 minutes while the guests are there.
Got it. Okay.
So it's going to completely defuse that event of them coming in. 20, 30 minutes later, she's not even going to be thinking about that. She's just going to be chilling the down if it's done correctly.
Yeah.
Right? And so from there, when we release, I wouldn't even let her immediately run up and go say hi to him. So it's like, even when you release, now it's back to respect on leash. Now you can't go over to see him. You still have to respect the other line.
Yeah.
And when all that starts to defuse and calm, that's when they can start to share calm affection with her without talking.
Yeah.
So it's building that moment of calm affection in our space, but we're not praising an excited state of mind.
Yeah.
Go ahead and correct her. Down.
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 Be in here. Go ahead and stand. Down.
Down.
Good. So if she goes to crawl, if we notice this as a tendency, she could have just been stretching, very likely trying to crawl. So if we go to correct and disagree, how in that instance you're like 4 feet away, you correct, she started to crawl, I'd immediately step in a little bit closer and pop to the side.
Yep. Okay.
So I'm kind of popping down and away from me.
Yep. Trying to get trying to get a little bit of angle away.
Yep. Now I repeat, because if she's crawling towards me, I don't want to be popping towards me.
Yeah.
I want
makes sense.
to correct in the opposite direction.
Yep.
Right? So I calmly go in, boom, down. She stops crawling, down. I stand back up, go back to 6 feet.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you have any questions on any of this so far?
No, it was great.
No? Okay. So I want to go ahead and do 1 or 2 more repetitions of it.
Yeah.
And then whatever happens, I'll critique. And then I'll add some other stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So whenever you're ready, go and say down and step in next to her.
Down.
Whenever you're ready, go and release her.
Break.
And whenever you're ready, go and stop and sit. And if she's lagging a little bit right there too, when you come to a stop, you could pat and invite her up with you.
Oh, okay. Side. Got it.
Yeah.
Good girl.
But we would never want to just steer her up. To where
yes, that's what I've worked on myself.
I can tell you're avoiding
yeah.
But that's the tool. So it's like, I don't want to make unclear pressure. So what do?
Yeah.
I
invite her up by
Good.
That makes sense. Right.
Good. Now whenever you're ready, go and stop.
We're gonna do
Do a little loop. Go ahead and shorten your line up a little bit too. So when you pop, it should be like right here where you're getting tension.
Okay.
Right there. Okay.
Huh. Down.
Okay. So now you're gonna grab the line right next.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and correct. Down and away.
Down.
Good. So a couple things I want to add right there. So when you do go to correct, down, it's a leash. She's just here's something she's missing.
Yeah.
So when how you're standing still like this, right? Down. If she doesn't down, you can either pop down and away. So go ahead and correct her. Down.
Down.
Good. Now calmly stand up.
Down.
Good. Down. So in that moment, right? So when I go to say down, she doesn't down. You can either bend down, pop down and away this way, or what I prefer personally, I grab right next to where I'm grabbing with my left.
Okay.
So when I go to grab it, I grip the line, I completely remove my hand out of this picture, just hold it close to my body, and I pop down and away this way.
Okay.
I like that personally because it's the natural.
It's an easier, that makes sense.
Versus trying to punch
Switch.
it down.
Yep, that makes sense.
So I can pop across the body, and I still stay there and wait. But in there, keep in mind, I know we were figuring out the hand placement as well, but when I say down, I stand straight up, down. She doesn't do it. I know she heard it. She had more than enough time to do it. Now my next step is I follow all the way through and correct.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So sorry, go ahead. I waited halfway through. I knew she was like either itching or doing something. I knew she still didn't obey the command, so I was still planning on correcting, but I think I waited.
There's a lot of delay.
Yeah, I was waiting for whatever she was doing, almost because I was thinking like, don't do 2 things at once.
Right, and you want to be fair, absolutely. But the whole point is, step 1 is this, down.
Yep.
If she doesn't down, the next step is following all the way through to correct.
Yep.
Because if we go from down, she doesn't down, then I go to correct, and as I bend over, she's laying down,
Yeah.
she's not downing on my command, she's downing on my threat.
Oh, okay.
Does that
Got
make
it.
sense?
Yeah.
So, and then it becomes not, I don't try to compare kids to dogs, but it's like counting with kids.
Yeah.
Right? When you're like 1, 2,
Yeah.
they don't stop at 1. They stop right before you're about to say 3.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So the whole point is they will take it, and dogs will do the same. They will take it to the final point where they know they can still avoid a correction.
Yeah.
Right? So if I'm like down, I can say down forever because they know that this step occurs before the correction comes.
Got it. Yeah.
So I could say down forever. They'll wait to see this and then quickly try to beat it.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
So it's like down, down, down. I follow all the way through and correct.
Yep.
The only way she could have avoided that correction was to down off the verbal, off the command.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Just keep that in mind. So if you down her and she didn't lay down, follow all the way through, nice and calm.
Yeah.
You don't want to be hectic trying to do it, but just down, boom, just
Got it.
matter of fact.
Yep.
Okay? All right. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So over here, go ahead and tell her down and take a step in towards her.
Down.
And on a 6-foot leash like that, you can release from 6 feet away,
Mm-hmm.
but this is another way of proofing it even more. When I return to you, I don't want excitement,
Yep.
dad's back.
Yeah.
I still want controlled down.
Yeah.
Okay. So in heavy ray, go and release.
Down. Break.
Good. Now in heavy ray, go and stop and sit. Go and share some calm affection for a moment.
Good girl.
And as a reminder too, when you do go to let go of the line to share affection, I prefer, so it's like we came to a sit, I prefer to grab just like I do when I correct.
Okay.
I hold it there as I go to pet.
Okay.
So there's no tension, but it's still right there if I need it. Because like we saw with the garage door,
What did I do on that one?
you let go of it. So when it was on her collar,
Yeah.
when you let go, you just had like a big old loop.
Got it.
And
Okay.
all that
Got
smell.
it.
So if, for example, she went to go sniff something
She
and
would
go walk away.
She would have the space to.
And you'd have to be like this to try
Yep.
to take all the slack out. Right?
Yep.
So by taking up that excess, it's no tension because she's
Yep.
not wrong yet.
Yep.
But I'm ready. If she goes to sniff, she breaks the sit, I can immediately
That
respond.
Totally make that. I can't remember what I was doing, but something I was doing, I remembered it. I was like, oh yeah, that actually is nice. Where it, took it up and just I wasn't trained. I forgot.
It's just cleaner handling. Like
Yeah.
it's not. There's nothing unfair to the dog.
Oh
but
no, but it totally makes sense if there's 6 feet. Yeah, if I need to correct, and then it's trying to find the end or getting my hands right, and then cross butting. Yeah.
Exactly. And even here, go and just take a little walk
Yeah.
forward. Since she's gonna lay down, we want to try to get her down on command.
Mm-hmm. Down.
Good. And here, go ahead and say down.
Down.
Step all the way out to 6 feet. Down.
Down.
And now as a reminder, if she goes to sniff or whine or anything, you're just gonna slide down that line and pop down
Mhm.
away.
And I'm okay to technically pop in my direction as long as she's not scooting.
Yes. So
Towards me.
if it's sniffing and stuff, you
Yeah.
can pop your
Pop-
direction.
mhm.
But it's when she's crawling.
crawling,
that's where I
trying
want to
to-
step in to pop down away.
Yep. That makes sense.
That's good though.
Mhm.
Do you think she was gonna down on command today? Based
Uh,
off the homework practicing.
I thought she would do okay, but I thought she'd be more restless on the sniffing. Like I said, that the movement. I think I texted you midweek or whatever. I was like, man, she's sniffing around a lot. Like she's doing okay,
Yeah.
but I thought that was going to be a harder.
Yeah, well, she was complying with every expectation we had set so far.
Yeah.
Now we're bringing more rules, and
Yep.
so the whole point is because we're black and white, we're consistent.
Mhm.
She immediately gets it.
Yeah.
But the whole point is now we're bringing more formality to it, to where this is what's actually going to give the down command power,
Yeah.
like where she's downing on.
I was
command.
I was curious about. I was like, how is the correction going to work? Because I didn't know that. With sounds silly, but the pop on the leash. Like I didn't know that's how we were gonna let's say enforce or the correction, so that she would she would try to avoid the correction.
Like how are we going to enforce our
Yeah.
command, right? And
Yeah.
so there, if she goes to sniff, go and correct. Down.
Down.
Good. Now go and stand. Good. You're doing a good job of holding it there and staying everything's calm. That's really good.
Yeah.
So you hold it. She respected it. She's not sniffing. Like 1, 2, down, and then stand back up.
Yeah.
So
I think I forgot to say down on my way back up, but
I think you did.
oh, okay.
I don't know. Oh, I guess we'll
Yeah.
have to look back. And see.
We'll go back to the
But
replay
either way,
tape.
right? Even if you didn't, the expectation is to still down.
Yeah.
You're just reminding her, doing everything you can above and beyond
Yeah.
to set the expectation and reminder. But when she still chooses to make the mistake, the correction has to come.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. And so
Now, not that it matters, I think I told you, but I was having trouble getting distance on some of it, and I'm assuming part of it might have been just because I wasn't saying down as I was trying to gain distance. I was probably only, saying it once at the start, just as I was, I forgot some of the basics of how to do
it. It could be twofold.
Yeah.
However, even if you were saying down, recognize and remember, down has no power. It's the physical correction, right?
Yep.
At that point, you were only standing on the line.
Mm-hmm.
So if she didn't care about standing on the line,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Then you could say down a million times. She was still going to break command because there wasn't a correction strong enough she respected.
Yeah. Yep.
Even here. So in a moment, I'm going to have you drop the line and step all the way to the wall.
Okay. Yeah.
But so it'll look like you're going to be like down, drop the line, and then you're going to look over your shoulder down as you walk away from her.
Okay.
And then turn and face, down, and then wait.
Okay.
If she breaks command, you're going to say nothing, calmly go in, grab the leash, pop, and then say down.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Got it.
Okay. So whenever you're ready, go
So I'm going to say down, or I'm going to drop the leash, say down, and then turn, stay down again as I'm going to look over my shoulder as I'm walking
back
away.
at her, yes.
Yep.
Looking at her as
Yep.
you walk away. Just
Yep.
don't run into the wall.
Yeah.
It's tight. But,
That's fine.
but once you get to the wall, just turn and face her and say down.
Yeah.
But if she breaks command, you say nothing, calmly return, grab the leash, pop, and then say down.
Okay. Got it.
Whenever you're ready.
Down. Down. Down.
And that's make sure you're not looking her in the eye.
Eye contact, yeah.
Yep. But see how she's locked in on you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I want her to disengage
Yeah.
and settle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we keep her in our peripheral, because if she
Yeah.
makes a mistake, we have to correct it in the moment.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be locked in.
Yeah, that's I won't need to work on that.
But good, right? So see how the whole point,
Mm-hmm.
it's the physical correction that's keeping her here. She's not
Yeah.
above mistake and
Yeah.
and popping up, and then we're going to go in and correct.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what gives your down command power, actually giving an appropriate correction that they respect.
Yep.
So standing on the line is a tool to teach the foundation.
Yeah.
But this is where we start to bring in
The
formalities. And this is what's going to make your down reliable
Mhm.
with distraction.
But
And
it seems like she's responding really, really well to it. I mean,
yeah, she's very
really,
clear in her head.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so, yeah, that's the whole thing where it's if it's done correctly, it should be very smooth sailing.
Yeah.
When you have different behaviors that have been created or genetics, it's a lot more work. But, so this is good because you've done everything good. Your body's been calm, everything. It's all come together really nicely, right? But building on this, I would recommend building on this at home, doing like an hour down a day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Whenever it fits your schedule best.
Yep.
If you're on the computer in the office for an hour, if you're eating dinner and watching a TV show.
Sounds silly. This will be great for when I'm on the computer because sometimes, she'll be chill and then you hear a lot of people, but the second I hop on a Zoom call or something, she starts, sniffing around, getting between my legs, going,
Exactly.
garbage.
Being busy, yeah.
Yeah.
And so the whole point, like I said, this is a tool to bring absolute structure and calm the brain, and she knows the expectation.
Yeah.
So the whole point of with excited guests, or whether you're trying to do, make dinner, you're on a Zoom call, whatever.
Yeah.
If she's just calm, there's no need to down. It's a tool to create conditioning.
Okay.
But if she's busy and chaotic, okay, now I'm gonna down to give her the expectation and create a structure that will calm the brain.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Sorry, sorry, as I was thinking of something. So she let out one whine there. In this scenario, it's fine. But if she starts crying again, I'd walk up,
Yes.
correct, Or
Yes.
give the correction. Say
So like
down.
one faint whine,
Yeah.
I'm not going to correct it right now, but
Yeah.
it becomes excessive.
Yeah.
I'm going to build,
Yep.
and that's the only mistake she's making.
Yeah.
So you're right here.
Mm-hmm.
Calmly go in,
Mm-hmm.
grab your line, little pop down and away, down.
Down.
Now going to pop down away from you, down.
Down.
Good. Now say down as you stand.
Down.
Good. Now go and say down, drop the line, and go to the wall again.
Down. Down. Down.
And keep in mind too, if there's any moment where it's like down, like and you're addressing the dog,
Mm-hmm.
and like assertive body language, right? Even when
Mhm.
we're staying straight up, I have my hands at my side.
Mm-hmm.
So like in my pockets, behind my back, arms
Yeah.
crossed is all more passive behavior. So while I
Okay.
have her in the down, I would have your arms at your side.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Just down, and then because this is passive.
Got it.
Right.
Yep. That makes sense.
So it's one thing when we are going to disengage, for example, say
Mhm.
she's settling, I'm not looking at her, I could have a more relaxed demeanor.
Yes.
But if she goes to break command, hands out of my pockets immediately as I walk in
Okay.
to go and correct.
Got it. Yeah.
And so here, when you did go in, keep in mind, you can correct from the end of that line.
Yeah.
You don't have to go all the way in like a foot away from the latch.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like if you correct at the end, then she goes to crawl, take another step, and
Mhm.
pop like you did.
Yep.
That was good.
Yeah.
But you don't have to come in so close.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But that's the whole point. Like if the whining becomes excessive,
Yeah.
with this being new,
Yeah.
I was gonna leave it if it was just a faint whine.
Yeah.
It goes away.
Yeah. It's probably trying to be fair, right? If it's just a quick little.
Well, no,
Yeah.
if it's a faint whine and it goes away on its own,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna make an issue of it. But
Yeah.
if it becomes excessive, like how it was building,
Yep.
that's where I'm gonna go and redirect the brain
Mhm.
down.
Yeah.
But the whole point of down, like I mentioned, is anywhere we have, like we want to have absolute structure and
Mhm.
calm the brain. So like with guests coming over, when you're working and you have a Zoom call,
Mhm.
whether or during mealtime, I don't
Yeah.
want her up here begging and staring at me for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
want her to disengage, settle, and down.
That's actually, yeah, because when I cook, she gets too close a lot of the time, or is right underneath the stovetop, or
Yep.
yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that as long as you're inside of each other,
Mhm.
so keeping in mind, she's staying in the down because she knows you'll go in and correct.
Mm-hmm.
But if you leave, there's no one to enforce the command.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
when you return, you don't know how long she's been up.
Got it. Yep.
And if you do leave, very likely she'll break command to follow you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So it's keeping in mind, if I'm down here and I'm cooking dinner, I want to still have her in my sight.
Yep.
And if I have to like step out of the room, I either release her before I go,
Mm-hmm.
or I just release her, take her with me, and down her in that other room.
Okay. Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's keeping in mind, you have to be able to enforce the command if
Yes.
you want to keep them in the down.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes sense.
Okay. Do you have any questions on any of this so far?
No.
No? Okay. For certain situations too, like even with any trigger of excitement, whether
Mhm.
it's guests coming over, whether it's you arriving, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
right? The excitement's not inherently wrong, but it's bringing balance to where we don't have it everywhere, especially in
Mhm.
moments where it can become undesirable,
Yeah.
like a greeting at the door,
Yep.
where it can snowball and get
Yeah.
worse and worse, right? So if you deal with triggers of excitement like that, the down is a beautiful tool, and done correctly,
Mm-hmm.
the trigger will start to go away because we're not making it an event. We're
Yeah.
not sharing affection in an excited state.
Yeah.
We're not praising that mindset, right? But overall, it's recognizing too, when we've created balance to
Mhm.
where the brain is calm,
Mm-hmm.
you'll notice we're having it down less and less.
Yeah.
Does
Yep.
that make sense?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Aim in here, say nothing, calmly walk in, correct down and away, down,
Down.
good, okay?
Down.
So you're right there, down, and go and drop the line, and go back to the wall,
Down.
Good.
Down.
So that's a little bit different picture, correcting from the end of the line, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when she felt it, she was immediately thinking, and then like going to go closer to your space.
Yep.
But you held your position,
Yeah.
which was good. So then she went, oh, and then
I guess I
went to
didn't. I
down.
didn't think of that's why.
Yeah.
That's why
If you corrected and immediately stood up, she would.
she would have kept going. Yeah.
Yep.
That makes
But
sense.
because you held it, she
Mhm.
went, oh, and then went back down.
Yeah.
That was good. But Were you saying something before, right when she popped up? Or when she was sniffing?
No, nothing.
Okay. I was talking about like natural balance of things, right?
Mhm.
So, because especially like our board training program,
Mhm.
like all this excited, chaotic, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, we recommend for them it's like a down every night,
Mhm.
down anytime someone comes through the door,
Mhm.
all this stuff to bring structure to create calm in the brain because they've already created so
Yeah.
much excitement and chaos and disrespect,
Yeah.
right? So it's like a pendulum, right? It's like we have
Mhm.
chaotic excitement, whatever,
Yeah.
right? We want to bring absolute structure via the down
Mhm.
to start to calm the brain. But when I have instances like my wife and I's English Mastiff, for example,
Mhm.
she's very rarely ever down,
Okay.
right? Because she lives with me.
Yeah.
And my wife is also excellent too. She does
Yeah.
a great job. And when we come through, there's a perk of excitement, obviously, because we're
Mhm.
bonded. She has a relationship
Yeah.
with us, all that, right? But she's still 100% respectful. I
Mhm.
come through, she trots on over, a little happy tail wag. I'm like, hey, Moose, off. And I
Mhm.
just walk by.
Yeah.
And she'll just truck along, normally just grab a toy and follow me.
Yep.
But she's respectful and it doesn't escalate more than that.
Yep.
And so after 10 minutes and it's like, oh, Dad's home, no one cares.
Yeah.
And she's calm, that's when I'll invite her into my space
Yep.
and share
Yep.
calm affection.
Yeah.
Right? So, and there, in my opinion, there's no need to bring something as absolute as a down
Mhm.
because I don't have that trigger of excitement. I don't have disrespect in my space. Go ahead and say nothing, go straight in. Go ahead and correct, down and away. Down.
Down.
So immediately pop away from you, down and away.
Down.
Then wait. Down.
Down.
Okay, now go ahead and stand up. Down. And here, go ahead and say down. Go ahead
Down.
and step around her on this side. Down.
Down.
And even here, if he is wanting to like go to the end right there. Down.
Down.
So the whole point is we're getting like 10 feet away from her.
Mhm.
Down. I think part of it there too that it messed her up a little bit is it being around her foot. So,
Yeah.
So we went to correct. She popped up. If it were me, because I do this for a living, I would popped up. She immediately sprung up. I would have immediately taken all the slack out of the line and popped.
And gone
down
quickly. Yeah.
Because she took a couple steps.
Yeah.
towards me.
Yeah. There was time in between to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's all this
Correct.
learning curve,
Mhm.
and I'd rather we let her get away with that than
Yeah.
us be unfair.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, then I tried the second time. I saw the same thing you did, so I was trying to clear the leash.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
went on the way down.
And keep in mind too, it's like if it's slightly not how you want it, I would
Mhm.
still try to avoid all that busyness with your hands.
Yeah.
But then okay, she's not dying. Now I need to correct. I'm gonna
Mhm.
clear it and then go in and correct.
Okay.
another effect.
Yeah.
Is that making sense?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and even here too, what you can start to notice if you're practicing this
Mhm.
at home consistently, you'll notice like.
Sorry, could I interrupt?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'd be saying the same thing. It looks like she's very engaged, like her brain doesn't look like it's relaxed right now. Would this be
Yeah.
another time to say down or like to try to break? Because it almost seems like, right, that she's,
I wouldn't necessarily hear because we're not doing anything.
okay,
I
got
would
it.
remind primarily when I'm doing something.
Okay.
So I go to walk away, down,
Got it.
and I step
Okay.
away. I go to return, down.
Yeah.
Same thing. I go to have a seat, down.
Mhm.
Right? But if I'm just sitting here and nothing's going on, I
Mhm.
don't have to say down like every 30 seconds.
Okay, to try to break, in, or maybe she is calm, but it just looked like she was more
Yeah, so
engaged.
her observing right now, she's not wrong for that yet.
Yeah.
So if anything, you just, I wouldn't necessarily say down. I just make a point that I'm disengaged.
Yep.
Like, I'm not looking her in the eye.
Mhm.
That's the important part.
Yeah.
So I look away. She'll slowly start to disengage.
Mhm.
Like from here now, she's like looking over at me.
Yep.
Looking at other things, right? So I disengage. It's going to help her brain to settle.
Yeah.
But if she sniffs, gets up, whatever, I don't say down because she's already wrong. So I
Mhm.
go into correct.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay. So from here, go and say down and
Mhm.
return.
Down.
So calmly go in, grab the line, little correction, down and away.
Down. Fixing the leash again.
Okay. Down.
Down.
So go and say down and then step back out towards me again really quick.
Down.
So we're going to work this return.
Down.
Good. So when you do return, make sure we look over the top of the dog.
Okay.
Arms are at our side.
I pulled my hands out of my pockets as I was walking to
Yeah.
try to.
And I think part of it was you were probably looking her in the eye
Probably,
too.
yeah.
And so then she's gonna try to suck up a little bit there. So in here, just make sure you look over the top of her, and then go and stay down and slowly start to return. You would step in to where she is like in the heel position at your left side.
Okay, got it. So I'm not even trying to go for the leash right now. I'm just gonna go.
Actually,
toward-
no, we could do it either way.
Oh.
So why don't you even go down? So why don't you step in right about here,
Okay.
and we'll do it that way,
Yeah.
since the line's going out in front.
Yeah.
So go ahead and stay down
Yeah.
and start to return.
Down.
And then go ahead and face me. Good. So the point is, when I return, I want to make sure, because if I come in and I'm like over the top of her, she might try to suck up at my feet. So to help her, I'm like down, and I disengage, take my body pressure off.
Got
she's not
it.
wrong,
Got it.
right? So from here, that's where you're gonna stay down. Calmly go to pick up the line. Just make sure there's no tension on her leash.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead and stay down and go to pick it up.
Down.
And then we're gonna pause and wait a moment. And now go and release her.
Break.
Good. Very nice. Right, it's breaking everything up into pieces, right? I don't
Yeah.
want to immediately pick it up and break.
Yeah.
Because she's going to anticipate and release as soon as I pick up the line. You want to share some calm affection there?
Good girl. And I switched my hands.
Yeah, very nice.
Good girl.
Good. Even here, you can go ahead and invite her. Let's do it one more time. Here, so don't pop her forward, just invite and walk strong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The invite portion. Down.
Go ahead and say down one more time.
Down.
Okay. Now if she's sniffing, go. Okay, we'll give her that one. So the whole point, why had you say down first, or say it twice,
Yeah.
right? When we're doing all this, we want to break everything up into pieces.
Yeah.
So like when you pick up the line, it's like you stand there for a moment when you're turned, pause, aim here, going correct, little pop, down,
Down.
because she was sniffing. And now go and stand, down.
Down.
If she's sniffing, going correct, I can't tell from here, down.
Down.
Now go and stand. Good. So like I was mentioning, when we return, right? I return to the dog, pause. Down, pick up the line.
I did them
Okay.
too
Pause.
quickly. I stopped and said down,
when we
read it.
reset.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So we released, went in.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I
then it's
didn't
like
break it up.
as you came to a stop, down, right?
Yep.
So I want to break it up for her. So I come to a stop, pause, down,
That makes sense.
right?
That makes sense, yeah.
With repetition,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I come to
Yeah.
a stop, down.
Anytime she hears
down.
it, yeah.
But I want to break this up for her and help her, right? So by reiterating again, down, after that pause, she heard it, went to comply.
Yep.
Still chose to sniff, so we corrected.
Yeah.
But I want, like I said, it's breaking everything up into pieces
Yep.
and slowing
That
it down.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah, okay, good. And so, do you have any questions for me on any of this stuff?
Not specifically with this. Now that I'm thinking about it, she gets very excited. Like if I go out to breakfast or lunch, I usually have a kennel in my car for longer, grocery store, she's fine.
Yeah.
But like dinners or lunches or something like that,
Okay.
I put her in the kennel in my trunk. I haven't figured out how to break the excitement getting out of that at the time, just because right with the space and then trying to release her.
Yeah.
Anyway, I rarely put the leash on her because usually it's just, I'm not in a high traffic area, I'll just come around
I
the
get
car and hop back in.
Oh,
So
yeah.
high level of excitement in and out and or
So in here, going correct, popper, down.
down, down.
So the whole point there, even with me going to lean, like pop my back,
Yeah.
she went to suck up, the expectation's down. So she broke command, correction came first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what you're saying, like with the instances of excitement, especially with your return.
Yeah.
Right? So
And then the return, but also, right, like there's not much space for me to try to create or, to try to pop her back. Or I have trouble with that.
oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So the whole point with, let's say hypothetically, down, this is your back hatch area, right? Your
Yep.
crate,
Yep.
right? So I like open the hatch. It's a back hatch, not a trunk.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, correct. Yes. It's
Yeah,
open window.
I
Yeah.
clarify.
It's
I
an
did
SUV.
I did have a client that thought they were going to put their dog in the trunk.
Oh God.
No.
No.
we
No. No.
wouldn't do that.
No. No.
So,
No.
anyways, so back hatch. We open it right. She's still in the crate. It's controlled.
Yeah.
So now are you able to get this as well?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. The whole point, like with the
I don't
hatch,
have your head, but
that's fine.
Mhm.
With the hatch opening, right? As I go to open the gate,
Mhm.
we already see the excitement, right? So I'm
Mhm.
already like back. As I open it, she tries to come through, shut it in her face.
Mhm.
Even a little pop to disagree,
Yep.
right? With the gate, back, go open it. She goes to do it again, pop, back.
Mhm.
And as I open it, I want her, like that gate that was secured
Mhm.
is now an invisible wall.
Okay. Yep.
She's not allowed to come through it
Got it.
without your go-to
Yep.
or your invitation, right? So I go to open it. She's waiting, back. For the purpose of this exercise, I would put the leash and pinch on from here.
Okay.
Okay?
While
Even
she's
there.
still in.
Go ahead and slide down and correct. Down.
Down.
Go and correct again. Down.
Down.
I
Down.
want you to correct harder next time.
Okay. Yeah.
So when we go to open it, she's waiting respectfully. Back. I don't say anything else. No good girls, no good
Mhm.
boys.
Yeah.
Like when you say good girl over here, sharing affection, it's not triggering excitement, but it's also not doing anything.
Got it.
Right?
Mhm.
But here in an excited state, it's only going to feed it.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
So when I hear I open the door, back, she's waiting, I'm owning the space.
Mhm.
I calmly just take the leash and pinch, put it on, back, still have her wait.
Mhm.
And then if she can jump out safely, I'd be like, easy. If she
Got.
can't jump
Okay.
out safely, I'd grab the collar and one under the belly,
Yep.
easy, and bring her out.
Okay. Yep.
From there, it's right to structure at your
Right
side.
district. Yep. Okay.
Yeah? And even here, if she goes to sniff, go and correct. Go and pop. Down.
Down.
Immediately go and correct again. Down.
Down.
Good.
Down.
Because notice the whole time, the first time it was like a genuine mistake,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And as we're doing this, it's like she's just getting up anyway, right?
Yep.
She needs to start to put this together.
Mhm.
So if she goes to whine again, I want you to slide down, pop down and away.
Okay.
If she pops up again, immediately go in more, pop down and away again.
Okay.
We saw that time she actually backed up and surrendered to lay
Mhm.
down.
Yeah.
That's what we want there.
Good. Okay.
But with here, so as I bring her out and it's controlled, now it's immediate structure at my side.
Yeah.
Calmly sit. She
I,
sits.
I think putting the pinch on will make a difference, and then even like you said, popping with the gate, that'll be good.
Yeah, so we're creating thresholds,
Mhm.
respecting the threshold.
Yeah.
But then having more required structure at our side is going to help rein her brain in.
Mhm.
And then even like it's structure on my side,
Yeah.
getting inside, I'd immediately down her.
Yep.
15, 20 minutes.
Okay. Got it. Even inside the car.
Oh, I'm sorry. So this
Oh,
is
I'm
unloading,
I,
right?
okay.
Unloading.
Unloading sometime, but sometimes it's unloading from the back of the car into the, driver's seat where, if we're
Oh,
going
so-
for a trip or something.
Okay, so even
Yeah.
in moments like that. So if we're letting her out of the crate,
Mhm.
you probably want to give her a chance to potty anyway, right?
Oh,
After
yeah.
the crate,
I guess.
Right? So on leash, I'd start doing a little bit of NASCAR,
Mhm.
reining her brain in.
Yep.
And then now that it's looking good, now I'm gonna go to an area and give her a chance to potty.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
Now that she's done pottying, I'm gonna go back. When I go to load, I open the door, back. If she tried to go forward, I would pop
Mhm.
straight back.
Mhm.
She's waiting respectfully. If anything, just sit her,
Mhm.
right? Then I'd be like, hup. Hup is my word for load,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
like hup, and I even walk forward. That's her invitation to
Got it.
jump up.
Okay. Yeah. I
But-
think that the structure will be a big thing because I'm even in those points I rarely have the leash on her, so there's no
Mhm.
structure, so that doesn't help her to be successful.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's still a safe environment, but
Yeah.
still all that excitement.
Yep.
Where when we bring structure and leadership, that's what's going
Mhm.
to help calm the brain.
Yeah.
And we're not sharing affection in any of that excited state.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
now after like pottying or after walking and it's nice and
Mhm.
calm, that's what we start to share affection with.
Yep. That makes sense.
Even here, going correct, pop down and away, pop again, down.
Down. Down. Gosh, gotta work with my hand. Down.
So even there,
Okay.
notice it's like you didn't even correct yet. She got up as you were going into correct.
Yeah.
So it's bringing a strong enough one that she cares about.
Mhm. Yeah.
Good. I want to see. Hopefully, she'll get one more in. Even
Mhm.
right there. Slide down the line. Go and correct. Pop. Down.
Down.
I want you to correct harder next time.
Mhm.
She's not as she's
Down.
getting used to this. She's not caring about those corrections.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
down.
Down.
I only got one good one in, so it like clicks for you what it needs to look like. Down.
I'm probably just trying to go too fast with it, and
it's like slow. It's slow and smooth. Smooth is fast, right?
Yeah.
So it's like when I'm holding there, she makes a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Yep.
Just like that. I wouldn't go really much faster, right? But it's still purposeful.
It's gonna sound silly, but was my hand technique like grabbing it, and trying to slide up to the side? Did that look? I didn't do it hard enough, but the mechanics of what I was
that
doing.
looked better,
Okay.
yes. But you don't have to slide so close. You just slide just to take all the slack out, so you can give a good pop.
Yep.
Okay. Down.
Down.
This all making sense so far, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We'll see. I just want to make one more mistake. And typically, too, like in these moments, I want.
Oh, sorry. Actually, I had one more. Sorry. So my home kennel, I have a wire kennel, and she does really well there. And for the back of the car, I have a wire kennel also. That one's actually a little bit more undersized. It was like a little bit smaller when she was a puppy.
Okay. She
still does fine in there. Like you can tell she's too big for it, but I don't feel bad with her in there. So, is there anything like, and just because it fits in the back of my car a little bit better, I can get a bigger one. I just want to make sure I'm not being unfair to her. She can lie down in there, but when she stands up, like hits
go bigger then.
Go bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even there. So going correct. Pop it down.
Down.
Correct harder. Down.
Down.
Good. That was a good correction.
Down.
Best correction I've seen you do.
Okay.
Okay. So, and even there, if she goes to sniff again, going quicker again, and pop. Down.
Down.
See, now that she's starting to care about those corrections, she's not popping up
Down.
each time.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, that was excellent. Very nice job.
Oh, thanks.
So because the whole point is like it's non-negotiable, right?
Yeah.
Now you're not negotiating.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And even here, even from this moment, go in, release her, and then we'll share calm affection for a moment, and then just let her be. So we're not having to constantly like interrupt, right?
Yeah.
But for even here, go ahead and say down and step in.
Down. Oh, are we still?
In a moment, we're going to pause, then we're going to release her, and then I'll
Okay,
I'll talk
got
about
it.
the
Sorry.
Yeah, whenever you're ready, go and release.
Break.
And just be aware of the movement there, right? So you stepped in and returned.
I was confused on because what I was supposed to do was step in and face away, correct? Take off the body pressure when I'm going back in.
Well, even there, she was
Sorry,
like right there,
interrupted
so
you.
you were like this, so I wasn't too worried about
Okay.
it, and I didn't see the expression on her face, right? If you were still facing her and she was like
Okay,
that,
yeah.
then I disengage so she can come back.
Okay, yeah.
Right? But as long as you caught it and you're aware, just so you're not doing that as a habit with each time we release. But as I was saying, for the crate, for example, and even here you could take a slight step back and just calm affection at your side.
Good girl.
But as for the crate, I'd recommend for it to be fair to her, in my opinion,
Yeah.
she needs to be able to fully stand up
Okay.
and be like lay down, spin around, all
Okay.
that stuff.
Yeah.
So once it's to the point where they're like hunched, then I would make it smaller.
Got it.
I'm sorry, make it bigger. And
So the one I have at home, like it's probably like barely touching her back. Like let's say she's 5%, right? Like so it's not totally freestanding, but none of it like in my gut feeling said it doesn't seem uncomfortable at all. She moves around. I can get something bigger if it needs to be.
the one in
The one in the car is
Yeah.
for sure. Like that was when she was smaller.
Yeah, the one in the house might be okay.
Okay.
The one in the car I would replace.
Yeah.
The main point is because if it's so confined that she can't be comfortable in there, then it starts to represent something not good.
Yeah.
And then she's not going to want to go in there.
Got it.
Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
And so we want it to be a good place.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's one of those things where if she immediately goes in, lays down, and never gets up, because she's
Yeah, and that's how she is at home. Yeah.
Yeah, then she's probably fine,
When it's
but-
like, hey, time for bed. Like she just
yeah.
she goes.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then, but if you notice, like she's in the crate and she's like getting up, and you see she's crammed, like all that, then that's when I'd up the
That's
size.
that car one. So I'll just make
Yeah.
sure I'll get the bigger one
Okay.
for that.
Yeah, that's what I'd recommend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Perfect. Do you have any comments, questions, concerns over this?
No.
No. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Of course. All right.